Hi, everybody. Welcome to FNS Wrestling Podcast, episode 183. Jack is excited. Do you want to just get it out of the way here?
No.
You're saving it for news?
Yeah.
Okay, so he will have some breaking news for you that he's very excited about. So if you're a regular listener, you might be able to guess something he's been predicting
for the last 2 years.
2 years of our life here. But yeah, we're back down in the basement. We're going to talk about a whole bunch of wrestling after we banter a little bit about things. So there's timestamps if you want to skip past this or find any specific segments. We'll be going over Dynamite, NXT, TNA, both pay-per-view.
You can call it Impact, technically speaking.
The show
you can call it Impact.
TNA,
although,
Impact Wrestling.
I don't know
is that just the Thursday night show?
Do you want to get in? Well, so like technically you could call it Impact, but are you gonna? I feel like you should be calling it TNA Impact, so then you can get into the Havoc. So knowing you, if technically speaking, you can call the weekly show Impact, then the pay-per-view is gonna come here and be like Impact.
I know. So I'm just
Rebellion,
gonna call it TNA,
and I'm gonna be like, nope, it's TNA.
I think I'll just stick with TNA. So we'll talk about that. We even watched. Well, I watched 2/3 of Raw. You were there for most of it, I think.
I watched some of it.
Just checking things out. I hear.
I watched some old matches too.
And yeah, so we'll talk about a whole bunch of stuff, some trivia, some news.
But
first,
figures maybe.
What happened to you this week? Anything exciting?
I guess semester's winding down.
It is. We start exams. You've got exams starting next Thursday.
I have fitness exam and that's it. So I'm really not doing anything.
Other humans have many more exams than you,
yes.
But yeah, you don't have too many. So that'll just be morning classes for you or none at all. So you almost get another week of school off because you only have that one exam.
When do we
switch?
Start next semester, yeah.
It's usually the first week of February is when you switch. You went out and played some badminton tonight. Your brother went to the same place right after you.
Still there as to
play basketball with some 17 and 18-year-old kids, even though he's 13, but that's okay. He knows them all well from my
it's the same thing with badminton, honestly. Some of them, it's I told you about it. It's ridiculous sometimes.
What is?
Just there's little people there. And
at badminton, yeah. When it's supposed to be, what's the age range?
I want to say it's 15 or 16.
And there was clearly young ones.
Dude, the one girl had to be 8.
Taking up space and not being good at stuff.
I almost want I would feel, I'll say this on air just so you can see how I am.
It's documented.
I would feel bad about smashing the little girl's face, but at the same time, it's that's what you get for being here.
That's what you get.
Part of me is and even with the ones that the one person I do play with, I told you her little sister and friends are there, which they would probably be Nate's age or around Nate's age, we'll say.
Grade 7 or 8, maybe probably.
Younger. Even them, I feel bad for hitting it, but then I'd also you're here, I'm gonna do that if I can, obviously, and I'm sure you can guess which side of me would take over in that scenario.
Yeah, I could probably guess. Your id, not so much your super ego. Okay.
All right, pal.
References to Freud here on the podcast.
We're not doing that here. We don't do that here.
We're getting
We don't do that here.
No, we don't do that here. But yeah, so it's just been another week. We've been winter has arrived in southern Ontario and stuck around this week. Did we
mention the power outage?
Minus
or we
15.
Did. That would have been last week.
Yeah, that was last week.
Yeah.
Happened the night before. No power outages since then, so everything's running along really nicely.
Power has ran since then.
It has. I don't know. I don't really have much exciting going on. So I think we get right into it because we got a bunch of stuff to talk about. A few extra things this week. So all right, we'll turn it over to wrestling stuff specifically as we tackle some of the week's wrestling news and rumors. All right, just let me get through the ratings and then you can, or are you going to do the thing with your gimmick where you say the big news and then give me a tiny little story?
No, I have other stuff.
Okay.
Go with. I don't know. I might
save it. Ratings was a bit one down, one up this week. So NXT was the one down at 683,000 viewers, so down 5.4% from last week. 0.19 in the key demographic, down 9.5%. It's the lowest audience total, that's 683,000 for the show since December 26th.
Which was
3 weeks ago.
Okay.
These are the things they give me.
Okay, yeah.
Dynamite averaged 891,000, so it's up 12% this week. Earned a 0.33 in the key demographic, up 14%. And it's Dynamite's best audience since going back a little further than a few weeks, October 18th. So several months at least, which is nice. All right, what do you have for us in news?
Did you see the recent death?
I don't think so.
Well, Butch is officially deceased.
Oh, there it is.
As Pete Dunne is back, baby.
So Jack has been
finally.
This. Pete Dunne was one of my favorite wrestlers in the world for
even documented on this podcast. We were loving his work before he got called up. And ever since the day he pulled up as Butch, I've been anticipating this moment. That was probably like in March of 2022, so it's been almost 2 years since.
And it has to be we got rid of Vince, right?
I think so, because
It has
Butch
to be.
was, especially the original incarnation of Butch, was definitely a Vince creation. The
It was
stupid attack dog,
insulting
like
to this man.
it was horrible. Even when he like got the single, whatever, like it's been a long road to get here. It's been like a slow creeping back in. Like first at the end of 2022, he got his ring gear back, and then it's like so like he's been getting a few solo opportunities. He faced Dar for the Heritage Cup. He was in Money in the Bank, and then I think once Vince was gone fully, and then they got Ridge Holland back away from him, and Sheamus is injured, so him being isolated allowed them to do that. And so they had him. Basically, so it was a couple weeks ago, him and Tyler Bate. Tyler Bate debuted. They beat Pretty Deadly, and then last week there was the vignette obviously teasing the Bruiserweight's return, and then this week they faced Pretty Deadly again.
Who are you gonna be? What's your name?
What's your name gonna be? Yeah. And them facing Pretty Deadly again so soon pretty much signaled to me, as if it wasn't already. I've been like waiting all week, like I've been waiting 2 years for this. Basically, never wavered, and you thought I got mocked at every turn by a certain.
Well, because I have no faith in WWE doing anything.
This
good.
is why you have faith. Dreams do come true.
I guess so.
Stuff happens. Yeah, no, and
congratulations.
I said to my friend, I've been more excited about Pete Dunne changing his name in the last week than I have for most Marvel things.
Have you added it to your best of list yet?
It's honestly best promotional decision. Oh, I'm so happy. This is a good way to start the year. I'm super happy.
You'll invent a category just for it.
He's got his
best reversion back to original character.
Yeah, best
nominees. Nobody.
No, but this is awesome. We love Pete Dunne here. And he has been mostly like. Butch has been mostly erased for a little bit now, but it's just not the same. Especially. We need Pete Dunne to turn on Tyler Bate eventually too. That's what I'm really waiting for.
I'm sure he will.
Just having Pete Dunne back is so good. I'm like hearing him announce it, and I saw the finish of the match, and like them referring to him as Dunne. It's just, and the red gear. It's refreshing, you know. And
it is.
So I'm overjoyed. I've been super happy, and I because I was so certain of it coming today that I watched some old Pete Dunne matches, which I'll talk about later.
And I can get my Pete Dunne T-shirt back out of the closet.
I told you, as soon as they put up new Pete Dunne merch, I'm gonna get something. Because honestly, I've been waiting too long for this. I can't explain how happy I am because it's so small. But I'm just like I miss Pete Dunne, and
Pete Dunne's amazing.
Like you said, Butch was just so insulting, not only to him but just like because I thought he was doing really great, and I don't know.
And then but it was the classic in NXT up to main roster, and then they just don't know what to do.
It was just ridiculous. But I'm super happy about that. That's one of the best things I've seen in a while.
So from a character returning to a signing of a guy I like to a company I watch, Black Taurus apparently has reached
another name change
with AEW and or Ring of Honor. And yes, it seems like he's not going to be able to use his Black Taurus name because AAA owns it. Even though he's been using it on the indies, that's because he has still been they're affiliated with them, right? So I don't know what he'll be called, but I'm assuming he can keep the mask and everything, which at first I thought was crazy, but now I love it.
The mask is so cool. If he didn't have that, then...
So he's fantastic. AEW fans, if they hadn't seen him, got to see him take on Vikingo, right?
On ROH's pay-per-view and Rampage, I guess.
Amazing match. So I'm super pumped to have him come and see what they can do with him. Hopefully he doesn't get lost in the shuffle or...
Absolutely.
He better not be exclusively on Ring of Honor because that's a tough one to watch. But good for him. Love him. Hopefully you get to see him on Dynamite.
Absolutely. New Japan confirmed that Kazuchika Okada is leaving. I think at the end of this month. He is
gone, yeah.
I think he's got a few dates for them in February. Which
he's on Impact already, or sorry, TNA already.
Yeah. He is on there. And then, so he's gone. It's not like confirmed where he's going, but it's confirmed that he's leaving, which is crazy because he's been there since like late 2000s, and he's been like Rainmaker at least for a decade.
Now, if that's who TNA was referring to, like imagine he signs when they were saying like the biggest signing ever. That's closer.
That's why I thought it was him because
Dolph Ziggler is not the biggest. He was
coming back for, I guess there was that too, which that would have been news.
So if Dolph Ziggler was used as like the trolling, and then it's like, see,
like Ginger and The Rock, that's mean. But like, no, because him coming back to TNA has been a big deal because of what they did to him last time. So that's why I thought he was the signings to be like some huge thing that like they signed him back.
Somebody in a promo or whatever made reference to it, like that they knew him. Oh, I think it was Saban that they knew him in 2000 whatever when he was in.
Would have been like 2010 or something. I think
somewhere around there. Somebody mentioned it. I think it was Saban.
I feel like, or I've heard that they're Triple H and Shawn are pushing for him in
I
WWE.
think he'll end up in WWE.
I feel like he'll end up there, and that's good because I like him, but I don't really need him in AEW.
He's not my favorite.
No
Like,
offense
he's
to
good
him.
and he has big matches, but like
I think he'd fit as long as they're willing to push him.
Yep.
And if they do push him, then push Nakamura. Because it's ridiculous that you wouldn't push Nakamura because he's just as good.
yeah, I agree. I'm sure they'll put them together in a tag team to start. Or something
If that
like
gets them both doing stuff,
True.
fine.
True. Did you hear what the next season, I guess it's season 5 of Dark Side of the Ring, who they're going to
I did
cover?
not. That's interesting.
So the big one that got me to click was it's Kurt Angle. So they're going to do that with his prescription drug problems.
Okay.
and
No, that'd be
whatnot.
interesting. Hopefully
And
not
then-
like crazy dark.
Quite a lineup. It seems like they're going more individuals rather than there's one like event,
Like incidents? Okay.
but the rest are people. So Brutus Beefcake,
Maybe the parasailing thing? Or did he like do something?
I assume everyone that wrestled in the 80s had major drug problems,
That's fair.
right? So there's a
You
lot
could
of
definitely include
cocaine,
that parasailing thing
a lot of
when he had,
cocaine, a
like,
lot of steroids, other things.
steroids, obviously.
Yes. Harley Race, not sure.
Maybe because remember he pioneered the diving headbutt and he regretted that because there's like the things with Dynamite Kid and Benoit, so maybe
Right.
it could be related to that.
Buff
I don't know.
Bagwell,
Ah,
yes. Chris Adams,
who?
I think he battled alcohol. Gentleman Chris Adams,
Who?
like a British wrestler from WCW.
No idea.
He
I'll
was
Google
the
him.
super kick kind of pioneer or perfecter.
I
I
have
don't know
never
what.
seen this man in my life.
He was similar to like Regal. I think he was better than he got presented in WCW. You know what I mean?
I
But
don't think I've
anyways,
seen him before.
Sandman. I'm sure there's a lot of things, and then Black Saturday, which was in the 80s.
That's when Vince came on WCW
in
isn't it?
Georgia, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So
That's
that's
an interesting one because that's not like
and I don't know much about
that's
that.
not really dark side. I know it was in the era where Vince was like in his
It's true.
takeover.
Like I don't know what the dark part of it. other
Yeah,
than, like,
it was. I've seen it in videos before. It was like,
It's
from
the
what I
death of
remember,
the-
it was in the period where he was like taking over territories and
Yeah, of
whatever. And I
course.
think he bought out Ole Anderson's Georgia territory, and he was pissed. And then he came on WCW on that Saturday,
Mhm.
and then he was putting. So briefly, Vince was on WCW basically,
Yes.
and like he was putting out a product. Like he had an arrangement with Turner to put out like live wrestling from Atlanta or wherever they were, right?
Yep.
But he putting out his tape product, and then the fans who watched Georgia, they didn't like the WWE style, so then it like did really bad, and Ole started up another thing, and then like I don't know. So I'd be confused if that really fits Dark Side, because Dark Side, I think of things like
Well,
Tammy Sitch
yeah.
and Benoit and
Yeah.
Plane Ride from Hell even works, or like
yes.
like these incidents, right? Like Collision in Korea, that one made sense. Von Erichs is a great one, obviously.
Yes.
So that's an interesting one to me because I mean maybe there's something we don't know,
right.
but like
there easily could be. 'Cause
I
I
haven't-
was only 7 when that
I've
happened.
seen an entire video on that, and I feel like there'd be some mention of something darker if
You would think.
there was something, right? So maybe I'm just like
But
reading
we're
into
not
the name
like,
too much.
We're not religious watchers of.
I watch the ones that interest me.
I just sometimes struggle with. I know that wrestling has all of this terrible stuff, and I don't need to spend
That's true.
so much
I
time
find some of
drilling
them
down
interesting.
into it. Sometimes
Some of them are interesting though. Like the Korea one was really cool because that I didn't know about.
it's
and
already like a guilty pleasure of ours without knowing everybody involved is an absolute dirtbag. Sometimes I'd rather not know.
that's true.
You know
That's
what I
why
mean?
like again the Korea one's not bad because it's not like
It was cool. That
it's
was
not like because like
interesting.
the Plane Ride from Hell one. I feel like that one outed Flair as a dirtbag,
Yes,
right?
yes.
That was the
Well,
thing, but like
Further confirmation, I would
but
say.
like that,
Yeah.
especially in the internet age, it really got
Yes.
him under crap, right? So
And AEW signed him and put him on TV anyways. But anyways.
the Korea one's good because like that was interesting, and it's not like
Mhm.
it was kind of dark, I guess, because
It was.
North Korea, but like it's not like that's giving me a negative opinion of anyone.
No.
And like as
It was just more
horrible
a
as
culture
it
shock
is,
thing.
as horrible as it is, Benoit is a really good one for that because it's not like
Yeah.
it's also like no one's.
I don't know what it
fault for
is.
that.
I'm not one of those people that struggles to watch like a Benoit match or whatever. No problem. I watch old WCW to fall asleep all the time.
I don't
and it
think
does not
I'd
bother
struggle
me.
to watch him. I just like I don't know.
I think
just,
freshly after it happened, I took a break from wrestling then and the Owen Hart, but I don't know.
Owen Hart. Have they done one on him yet? They should do one on him.
I don't think so. I only have
Anyways,
a couple other things.
Digression.
Yep.
So New Japan's Battle in the Valley was like, I think on the 18th. So it was not on the 18th. That was yesterday. It was like last weekend or something. It was the same day as Hard to Kill because I remember that was like a big evening.
Right.
So we wouldn't have talked about it, I guess.
No, I don't think so.
Jack Perry resurfaced
That's right.
at New Japan show. He attacked Shota Umino. He ripped up an AEW contract and he put on an armband that says Scapegoat.
Yeah. So
with a fuller beard too.
So he's-
Interesting. I'm not sure what angle they're going for here, but it's interesting.
that basically he's the black sheep of AEW.
Right,
because
because they suspended him, and it's been like months since we haven't seen him since.
So it's kind of like he's on excursion, I guess. He'll get some experience and work. Maybe I feel like we did talk about it because I feel like I was like, I'll be happy if he polishes his.
We've talked.
I feel like we did it on.
I don't think we talked about it here.
Because I was like, I'd be fine if he goes and perfects a heel character.
Maybe we did. I don't think we did though. If someone knows, then I guess let us tell us. But no. So that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. If it becomes like better, I'm all for it. And I know you're asking me. It's definitely a work. Like
I think so. Yeah.
I don't think it's if this was like 90s or something. Like
Monday, you can't just rip up a contract. It doesn't cease to exist because you rip it up.
Monday Night Wars, it would have been
theater.
It's like when the Outsider showed up, people believe that, but it's not. Wrestling's not that anymore. So
no, not
obviously there's that, but it is still interesting from a certain perspective. So
it is.
We'll see what he does for sure.
So WWE confirms their early morning start time. I mean, not in all places, not where it's taking place.
Us.
For Elimination Chamber, right, which you said is in Australia.
Elimination Chamber Perth is the logo.
So it will be taking place on February 24th, and it will start Eastern time at 5 a.m. And at Pacific time, it's 2 a.m. So kind of interesting. I'm kind of excited to wake up and like have a coffee and have it ready to go. And
yeah, it'd probably be done by the time we're up. No, maybe?
I would assume so.
Especially
on a Saturday, yeah, usually.
Especially when you're up, yeah.
Yeah. So that'll be cool.
Wait, that's honest. No, never mind.
As long as it won't conflict with football, if there's any on that day, it'll be over before that. Although I think that's after Super Bowl, maybe. Yeah. I don't know. But anyways,
it'll be interesting.
It's the earliest I've ever heard for a wrestling
and I'm hoping it'll be like a big venue that forces them to change their setup again. Which reminds me, Raw actually had a different stage, but it's because they were in like a smaller venue and they had to build a stage from the ground up instead of just they hang a thing or something,
sticking their old one in
a giant big ass LED screen.
Yep. I only have one more item.
I have none more.
So this is just sort of surprised me a little bit. I do watch MLW from time to time. I check in every few weeks with them usually. They announced they're expanding their schedule for 2024. So they are planning on airing one premium live event and one signature event monthly moving forward.
NWA?
So no, MLW.
Oh.
So they're doing the PLE every month sort of thing.
MLW, really?
So
did they really have the right to like... the ability to do that? I don't know.
They're on Fight, or what used to be called Fight. It's now Triller, I think it is.
Why has it changed?
And probably got bought by some larger entity. I don't know how it works. And then the other stuff will air on YouTube and wherever else they put their thing. So I may check out the odd one of their monthly free pay-per-views.
I probably won't. Every time I see them, I'm just like, it's not for me. Something about them is just not there.
It's not. It's... I don't know. I check in with it. I check in with what else? The one that they just did, the OVW, I'll check in with. NWA, I'll check in with just when I have time to, and I'm not really looking to pay super attention. And it doesn't really grab me and make me come back every week. Like on a monthly schedule, I'm fine just to see
especially when we check out NWA.
There are some things I like what is it, Bomaye Fight Club? They're cool. The current champions, Alex Kane or whatever.
Hammerstone was cool when
he's cool. Yeah. But anyways, that's all I have. So I guess we'll get into talking about our wrestling. The first thing we'll do is go back to Wednesday night and look at this week's episode of AEW Dynamite. All right, I found that I didn't have like super strong opinions on this show, so I might not be that interesting.
I felt like it was a pickup though. In general, I feel like it was a little up from last week because I feel like last week
I gave it a C something. I think so. Then I would agree.
I gave it a B minus.
C plus.
I think you gave it the same. I was pretty sure.
I don't know. I can check, but yeah, I just was like,
because the first show of the year, I'll keep saying, was really good.
Nothing was offensive. Nothing was amazing, kind of deal. So I don't know.
I thought
I'm not one of those that's going to fabricate strong opinions just to.
Main event was strong, I thought, though. Actually.
I agree.
It over-delivered,
I agree.
Say. But we'll get there.
Yep.
Speaking of which, we get a package for said main event, which is Joe and Hook. It was just a recap of Joe's promo from last week, which was good. And Hook had like some promo that they put on Instagram. He was talking about his record being second to none, and it's time he gets another title. And he basically was like, what do I have to lose? Which is fair. Not the fake title, I guess.
Yes.
It was a solid package to have the main event, though. Not a lot to it, but it was solid.
I appreciate that they took the time to try and make this feel more than just a random like placeholder challenger, right? So
feelings aside on the execution, I was not a fan of like just thrusting Hook into the spot.
And it feels like another thing they're just trying something new and different in 2024, right? So I thought it was cool.
Yeah. At least with this match, it didn't injure the champion and potentially take him out, like Jinder.
Nope. Yes, exactly.
Yeah, that's right. They tried to pull the Jinder.
Yeah,
thing
Seth
again.
looks like he's going to be out for a bit.
As if I didn't hate Jinder enough.
Yeah.
They're using the collision set again. I'm wondering if this is becoming normal for Dynamite. Like, I'm wondering if like they want to transport the same stage around for Collision and Dynamite.
Yeah, maybe.
Which is also what WWE does with their big one LED screen. Just at least their stage is better. But I did kind of like the Dynamite and Collision at different stages. I didn't
like the ring apron with all the.
Yeah, I had all the Suicide Squad. We'll get that out of the way. The Suicide Squad banner. Yeah, it was just like white. It's like I find white always looks weird on a ring apron.
But the ring apron and the barricades, it was like pick one or the other, man.
I'd go with barricade so the ring at least looks like pure. You know, barricade is fine because they put like the game advertisement. So for their game.
Yeah, it was too much
put down there. Yeah, or
for me,
just put it on the Tron because they've done that plenty of times, and that's like out of sight, out of mind most of the time, right?
Yes.
So
what they do with the woo energy, where I just
that's what I was thinking too. We open the show with As You Would Want It, Christian Cage versus Dustin Rhodes for the TNT title. I like seeing Chris. I don't know
exactly
because Dustin is a dead dad.
I guess.
I like seeing Christian on my TV. I'm not going to complain about that, but I wish he was speaking.
And I wish there was a point to this or a chance that the challenger could win.
Agreed.
And the only thing I noted was no Shivani tonight, right? They said he's on assignment, and we get Riccaboni instead.
Who's a good replacement. I like Riccaboni.
Yeah, he's fine.
He's pretty good. Christian tries to cross Dustin with the ring post, but Dustin counters. He pulled him in the ring post with his feet. Diving cross body outside from Christian, which is surprising. Like doing an actual high risk kind of thing. We got a bit of a slap fight, which sounds lame because I picture like a diva slap fight.
Sure.
But they were getting some good shots.
Yeah, they were.
I thought. Code red from Dustin for 2. Frog splash from Christian for 2. Christian went to use the TNT title, but the ref took it away. And while she's distracted, Dustin rolled him up in a small package. And before the ref looks back, Nick Wayne like kind of ran in the ring and pushed the pin over so that Christian's pinning him. Luckily, that was only a 2 count because I thought that'd be kind of a lame finish.
If he needed that to win.
Or just like even the fact that like Dustin didn't take anything before that, you know, it's like it just wouldn't really work for me. Dustin had a nice like pair of moves back to back as a superplex and then a crossroads. Thought that was pretty nice. That got a 2 count. Destroyer Nick Wayne on the outside. That I thought Nick Wayne sold really well.
Yeah, it looked good. That looked good.
Spear and a kill switch from Christian got a surprising near fall. I'll give them that. And second kill switch gets the win for Christian.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything wrong with this, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people liked it more than I did. But
I saw, some people were high on it. And for a Dustin Rhodes match, I thought it was good.
Right, but at the end of the day, it's Dustin Rhodes in 2024, and a match he has no chance of winning. Got a lot of time, it felt like. Competitive, but just no heat to it, right? I'm not sure what Christian gets out of having a competitive match with Dustin Rhodes.
I guess it's okay because he's kind of old too.
Felt a bit long, kind of uneventful.
Yeah.
And why is Dustin, he's now had like back-to-back impressive showings against top talent and still not selling his ankle injury. But
no.
I hope there's like, we're not getting a one more run story coming through.
No, I don't think so. I feel like we would have seen something.
Probably.
As much as I kind of like Dustin, like as far as the old guys go, he's pretty good.
He's impressive still, but
if I'm gonna complain about Sting being in potential title mixes, which I will complain about Dustin. Like, I don't need to see him getting a title shot, and I don't need to see him like getting competitive matches. Like, you can have him on Rampage, that's fine, because I don't watch that, and that's like a lower rate show, so that's fair.
And we've said it so many times. There's so many people that struggle to get on any sort of TV in this company. Like,
I would like to see Christian defend against someone promising, and then you have Luchasaurus or Nick Wayne interfere to get him the win, because then it makes sense that Christian's beating someone younger, right?
Yep.
But yeah, it was solid for what it was. Nothing amazing, but like in terms of a Dustin Rhodes match, it was good. But like you said, it's Dustin Rhodes match, so it's not necessary.
No.
Never expecting a ton from him in this day and age, but he was pretty good. Both of them did as well as usual, perfectly serviceable, not much more. It just didn't feel super notable.
No, it didn't.
Just didn't feel like something you need to watch, and that was like, again, the result was never in doubt, which I feel like it would be for Christian at this point in his title run, but like I would have liked some suspense maybe for a challenger. But a couple things I liked was the Destroyer Nick Wayne was really cool, and the Superplex Crossroads combo. And I thought they got a good near fall with the Spear Kill Switch because I thought that would be the finish. So Dustin kicking out that was kind of cool, but I'm not sure he needs that rub.
No, I don't think he does.
Yeah, but this was good for what it was, but not a hot opener.
Nope.
But an okay one for
Agree.
sure. Then we get a Swerve Strickland interview, and Renee asked him if he's going to watch the main event for the title. Swerve said he's laser focused on the world title, and he's on the top of anyone's mind after the C2. He said he's the most dangerous man going after the most coveted prize in this industry. And then Renee mentioned Hangman, and Swerve said he's a great wrestler. He talked about all the guys he beat in the last year or so. He beat Mox in a Texas Death and whatnot. But he couldn't beat Swerve, and Swerve said he has no reason to do it again and nobody to prove it to. And whose house? Swerve's house.
And he had eye makeup on, kind of.
I kept looking at
like
that.
under his eyes?
He had like black makeup around his eye, and I could not stop looking at that. It was distracting me a little, and I didn't like it. So I hope he stops doing that because I don't want him to do that.
Swerve sounded good here. I like that he put Paige over, right? He went over his resume, which I think the top guys should try and focus on making their opponents sound good, because then you look good.
Yeah, the Gracie, I think
good.
Switchblade usually does that well.
Yeah,
Moxley always does it really well. MJF, to his credit, does that.
Yeah.
Eddie.
Yeah.
Eddie as well.
And then he also brought it back to him, though, because saying, like, yeah, you had an amazing run and beat all these people, but I beat you twice.
I like
right?
that.
And that's logical. I don't need to deal with you anymore. I've beaten you twice. Why should you get another shot? Obviously, I should be first in line. All makes sense. And it's not that he's cowardly, right? He's just done with it already.
He's kind of in the right, yeah.
So I liked it. It reminds us that he's focused on the main title.
I think either way we're heading to a three-way, which I'm all here for. That's an awesome trio right there for sure. But yeah, good stuff from Swerve as always. The eye makeup was distracting me a little, but I like what he said. I especially like the last bit, like you said, where he put over Hangman, but then reined it back, saying he beat him twice. He doesn't need to prove it to anyone. And he's right. He's always so cool, so he's got it down packed, and I love it. Just get rid of the eye makeup because it's really strange.
He had it at the end of the show too. Still, right? It was different.
It was weird. I don't like it. I'll keep complaining about it.
He looks so cool and perfect already. I don't think he needs to change anything.
Clearly, I can will things out of or into existence. So in 2 years, we'll stop wearing that makeup.
I murder people and you bring them back to their original characters. You bring them back to life.
I will Walter back into existence one day.
Yeah,
also,
man.
Although actually, no, Gunther is okay. Gunther's acceptable.
I want you to will Chunky Walter back.
I'm going to will him to gain weight.
Walter.
Yeah, I'll will that back into existence next. And then we'll run back Walter and Pete Dunne. Boom.
Exactly.
That's how it's done. Next we get Chris Jericho interview because that's what I was asking for.
Mm-hmm. But we also get like a Battle of the Belts highlight package with this, right? Which is...
Because they know we didn't watch it.
I want to know the ratings on that. I'm going to look that up while you talk about this.
Because they know we didn't watch that.
Nobody
I would love to know.
Nobody does.
I remember people thought they were going to be like their Clash of the Champions special. Because remember WCW did that? It'd be nice if that was that. Like, you could actually build these. Honestly, I think the idea of a weekend TV special is not a bad idea. Especially back in the day when they didn't do a lot of pay-per-views. It would have been really cool. But
this was Battle of the Belts 9, right?
I believe so. Well, what are we looking at here? Like... clock a milli on that?
351,000 viewers.
Oof.
It is the lowest show viewership since October 2022.
Was that last Battle of the Belts?
That's probably one of those lame things.
Anyways.
So it doesn't do well, we'll put it that way.
I can't imagine it does. It's after Collision.
Yeah.
Or after Rampage or whatever. So Jericho complained about the Don Callis family costing him and Guevara that match, which was a street fight at Battle of the Belts. And he's going to seek and destroy Takesha's ass. Mm-hmm. That was weird. Matt Sydal walked in.
Who?
Saying this isn't the Jericho that he knows, and he wants a match. Jericho said, "You were born to do this." Oh, that's funny.
Oh, yeah, I just got that.
Matt Sydal mentioned he beat him before, and I was like, did he really? And then I was like, it would have to be Evan Bourne, because... I don't think there's any other overlap because Matt Sydal's been on the Indies for ages, but Jericho's been in WWE since '99,
right?
So, or he was until
one of the best debuts ever.
Yep. And Jericho said it's on Rampage, so over to Rampage I'm gonna go
where they can record it and put pipe in sound to drown out boos if they have to.
This is whatever. I'm not really interested in whatever Jericho's doing. Not a fan of him still feeding Callis' crew because there's only one way it goes. It's going to go in his favor, and it's also going to go way too long. We are going to talk.
We've already circled back around to Callis. It's already been too long.
We're going to be talking about this feud in November.
Yeah.
Sydal here is weird.
I just don't know why Sydal, and then I'm like, oh, it's a Rampage thing. Fine, whatever. Send him there. I don't need to see him right now. It's okay to take him off TV. I might actually really like him when he comes back if you give him time. He's the master of like
reinvention.
So go away.
Go away and
so
reinvent
I can miss
himself.
you. Give me a chance to miss you is what I need for him right now.
Or just go away.
That's fine
the first
too.
part is the crucial part
Yes.
here. I don't care if you come back in a year, but just like go away.
Yes.
That's like, especially right now, would now not be a good time to go away and reinvent yourself while people kind of hate your guts?
Yes.
Like, am I stupid? Like,
No.
just go away from it. Even like, I don't care if it's for a selfish reason that you want to let the heat die down. That would be a smart thing to do. So do that.
It would, but he
Ric
won't.
Flair can do the same thing, except make it permanent.
It's got to be there.
Like, and like it'd be good for Guevara too. Again, why did they
Be
turn
great.
Guevara back?
Jericho's an anchor
He is an anchor. Why did they turn Guevara back?
because they had no choice.
Like so dumb. Like Golden Jesse. I mean, at least Kenny's diverticulitis got him out of this. Saved him,
Right.
arguably. Which is kind of dark. Anywho, moving on from him and not talking about him until the very end when I have to. Next, we have Orange Cassidy and Trent Beretta versus Penta and Commander. Phoenix was out in their entrance, so that's nice. It's nice to see he's almost back, at least.
But again, these guys have. Is there any connection here?
I really think it's just for the post-match.
I guess, yeah.
That's
So it feels really random right off the
It
bat.
is, yeah.
to me.
It's a good mix of guys, for
Yeah,
sure.
it is.
But it is definitely random, for sure. Which I feel like we should probably work on this year.
Yeah.
They do tend to have random matches every week, but, like, have some thought in there, you know? Anywho.
And if they're random and bangers, then I don't care that much. But they're
It was just like- it
they're
was just
random
solid.
and good. You know.
Yeah, that's not really what I need.
No.
Yeah, like, I'll take Fletcher versus Cassidy or whatever.
Right.
Or, like, if you're going to give me random, at least have Cassidy defend his title so I can enjoy that part of it. Like, I don't know. And there wasn't even, like, because they breadcrumbed heel Cassidy the other week, and then...
Now it feels like heel Trent too, because he was like doing the aggressive thing, and I think he like knocked them off the apron at one point. I can't remember if that was this.
There's also the Battle Royal thing with Danhausen at World's End, right? So I don't really know.
Yeah,
what's
I don't
going
know.
on. Anyways, there's a suicide dive from Cassidy to Commander, and then Trent hit him with a nice half-and-ass suplex, which he does really well.
Mm-hmm.
Perisling plates to Cassidy from Penta, then he turns with a super kick, and then so Commander dove to the outside to take out Trent while Penta held Cassidy in like a delayed Made in Japan, which was cool. He held him there for like a decent amount of time, and then drove him down, which was really cool. Actually, it was different. That got a 2 count. Commander rolled up Trent with the mousetrap pin for 2. Penta steps off of Commander's back, and he hit Trent with Destroyer. Then Commander hit a springboard splash for 2. Yeah, that was nice. And Cassidy broke the pin. Commander missed a Phoenix Splash, rolled through, but he's met with that shotgun knee strike from Trent, which looked really nice. Kind of like Busaiku knee, basically.
It looked just like that.
Super kick from Penta to Trent, and then a beach break to Penta from Cassidy. The finish comes when Commander takes an orange punch from Cassidy and a crunchy from Trent. And then post-match, Undisputed Kingdom with their theme now out on iTunes, which is just OGK and Roddy, no Cole, no Wardlow, which is half good and half where's Adam Cole. So they come out, Undisputed Kingdom are here. So Roddy speaks with his weird little mustache. He says he knows Cassidy has heard him say it to everybody else, and he tells Cassidy to take off his glasses so he can look him in the eyes. And when he's not taking off the glasses, then he shouts his name. You know, he does the thing.
Yeah, has to get that in.
Yeah. Roddy says they could end him right now, but they won't. He says Cassidy has taken on anyone and everyone. Anytime, and yet he chose to be in a tag match tonight, and he asked if it's all becoming too much and maybe he doesn't have enough in the tank to keep it, or maybe it's because it's Roddy's and he's coming for it. Cassidy says they can do it right now, and Roddy takes off his shirt as if he's ready to fight, and he says not right now. He's going to make Cassidy wait and wake up, and he'll know he has to eventually lose it or whatever. He says they'll have to wait till Revolution, so the challenge is
Wouldn't it have been smarter to do it now when he just had a match and not give him time to wait and train and anyways. There was some good action in the match for sure. I just kind of felt like I'm asking myself, so what kind of thing, right? I did think Trent looked more aggressive than usual. Feels like he's almost teasing a heel turn, or it feels like they've sort of like start and stop that a little bit.
It feels like they are working towards it though, for sure.
A fine tag match, but kind of like the opener, right? Kind of uneventful.
Yeah, it was like good, and I thought the action was solid, but it just didn't feel. Yeah, it was uneventful. I think. Yeah,
and
it was
Roddy
just not notable.
Spoke for a long time there, and that's not his strength. He sounded.
I thought he was
fine,
good though. He's definitely gotten stronger.
Yeah,
I think on this day.
Again, I don't find this group intimidating or anything. So it's when your heavies are OGK, that's not super strong.
Yeah. So yeah, this match was good. It's just random. It clearly existed to get us that post match to get that match. I wish we had Cassidy defending the title instead. 'Cause the same thing could have been accomplished, but I'd probably enjoy it more. No offense to Trent Commander or Penta, but I just would have liked him defending against someone random, like maybe even Taurus, honestly.
Yeah.
Taurus would be perfect for an Orange Cassidy Open Challenge. There was solid action throughout, though. I thought Penta and Commander had some cool stuff as a team. Penta stalling the Made in Japan was a cool change. I'm really excited for Lucha Bros to come back. I would like them to get in the tag mix because I really like them.
They're awesome.
And Pac is supposed to be back soon.
Yeah.
So you can have him on his own, honestly.
Death Triangle back for more trios.
Yeah. Or honestly, give me heel Death Triangle or just heel Penta and Pac and Phoenix can do
Or
something.
massive feud with Pac and Orange Cassidy. He wants that title. I don't care. Give me Pac.
Run that back, yeah.
Yep.
No surprise, Commander ate the pin. Roddy's promo after was decent. At least it wasn't bad because he used to be pretty bad. So, like a solid promo from him, I will take it. I'm glad we confirmed a match now. I'm looking forward to Roddy Cassidy. That should be pretty awesome.
That will be good. For sure.
Roddy targeting the back would have been perfect in Cassie's first reign.
Yes.
I'm disappointed they never
He
did
still
that,
should,
actually.
no matter what.
Obviously. Then we get a Hangman Page interview. The first
My note
thing
says Jack is fixated on Hangman's mustache.
Yeah, the mustache has got to chill. Just it needs to be even with the
wasn't
beard.
even that bad.
He's got his usual beard, but he's got like the bushier mustache, almost like Dax Harwood. It's not good, man.
It was very Dax Harwood. Very much.
I can't with that. You're getting no titles with that stash, Hangman. Like
I think that's like his. I'm super. The longer it gets, the more heelish or whatever he gets.
Just grow out the rest of the beard. Then
the more of a loose cannon.
At least it would look even. It's like he trimmed the beard and he gave up on the mustache. I don't know. Page talked about how he wanted and needed the AEW World title in the past. He said he will win it and keep his name on for as long as he can. Renee mentioned Swerve Strickland kind of the parallel before, who said Page can't beat him. Hangman said he wasn't thinking about Swerve. He said it doesn't matter because Swerve is not the world champion. Samoa Joe is. And he said maybe it'll be Hook and God be with you if it is. I thought this was solid, and like the eye makeup, I was fixated on the mustache.
Yeah, you were.
I love the guy, but this is not the look for him. I cannot with that. Even beard, even stash is the root. But back to the point, we're clearly heading to a three-way, and it's going to be awesome.
Yep, this was solid, and yeah, we're circling around the main event with these three involved, so I'm fine with that.
It's going to be good. And they don't do multi-man like main title matches a lot, so I'm definitely here to see it, especially when it's one that kind of makes sense and is super interesting. Because I feel like last time I remember, was the only one for the world title was Omega, Pac, and Cassidy. And at the time, especially, it was weird that Cassidy was there.
It was.
Maybe now it would work a little better and they could probably maneuver it better. But
he is definitely a bigger star now.
So yeah, this triple threat really works, and I'm excited.
Yep.
Then we get Mark Briscoe speaking. Because it's at the time of that show, it was about a year since the
crazy. That's a
Jay
fast
Briscoe.
year. It feels like
That is a fast year. It feels like that was really recent.
It does.
So he spoke about how he's representing both Briscoe brothers tonight, which to me implied that he doesn't most of the time, but
just tonight.
That's just me being that. He said tragically 1 year ago tonight on that show, his brother Jay moved on and he passed away, moved up to the next level. That was his words.
Leveled up, so he's on NXT.
He said his nieces were in the car with Jay, and they told his niece that she wouldn't be able to walk. And then
she came
out. She walked out, which was nice.
That was cool.
The pop for that was really nice, and some people were crying. So
they felt like they didn't know what to do. The poor kids are like, "This is like."
That was it was definitely awkward for them. But that was sweet. So obviously they're doing well, and then there was a package with just the Briscoes history. So
yeah, really nice moment, obviously, and again, like, feels to me like something WWE wouldn't do is remind you of a tragedy a year ago. They tried because they're targeting little kids and stuff, right? This is not.
They'll do it like they did it after the fact, obviously.
Remember this death of a healthy young star. They'll do it like in the moment, but they're not doing it a year later.
Yeah.
So that's why the stuff with Brody Lee and stuff like this.
Exactly.
This company has a little bit of a different reputation.
Yeah, I really liked it. It was a nice little bit here. Between this and the Brody Lee stuff last week, it's really classy from AEW, and I appreciate this always. It's definitely nice to see. And Jay Star walking too is really nice and heartwarming. And promos like this make it really difficult not to like Mark, for sure.
He's super likable.
He's got that likable quality about him. And the tragedy of Jay also just makes him really super...
you just root for him.
It's easy to sympathize with him and root for him. Yeah, so... it's not the first and likely not the last time to honor Jay, so it's always cool to see, and I appreciate that for sure. Would have been nice to see Briscoe wrestling, honestly, just with the random matches we got. I wouldn't mind a match from him.
They could quickly build him into like a placeholder challenger for Joe, because they have such a history, right?
Honestly, yeah.
It'd be fun.
I'd like to see him do something, for
Me
sure.
too.
Or have him face Cassidy.
Lost every match in the tournament, and he was still like, I still feel like it helped him.
Yeah, helped me like enjoy him, for sure. I'd like to see him face Cassidy. If there's anyone who's good in the ring, just throw him in a match with Cassidy, and I'll take it.
Cassidy,
that's a compliment to Cassidy.
And Darby are the two. If you want to look good, get in there with them.
Oh, Darby's, that'd be a good one. Takeshi Darby. Oof. Next, we get an interview with Nick and Matt Jackson, Nicholas and Matthew.
I feel like our opinions may differ on this one.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So they're seated with Renee for an interview. Sit down. Nick wants them to be called Nicholas and Matthew since they're executive vice presidents. Renee mentioned rumors about them, like with the temper tantrum or whatever, which I don't know if it's rumors if we saw them do that. Like in kayfabe, we watched them melt down twice.
Right. That's true.
So, just saying. Matt talked about how AEW is a thriving, sustainable wrestling company, and he would do it all over again, basically talking about, like, he sacrificed a lot for this, I guess, because he has to be a boss or whatever. He said he asked if Renee got her paycheck, and he said, "You're welcome for that," which I thought was kind of funny. Matt spoke about how they used to say change the world, and they were rebels that spat in the face of tradition. He said somewhere along the way they did lose their way, and toxicity crept into the locker room, and it was all different. Matt said they started to lean on self-serving cancer superstars, and he said, well, Sting is not any of those things, and he's a role model employee.
We still want to end his career.
Yeah. Well, he said he represents the last of the dying breed. He said they will say goodbye to Sting, and everyone likes Sting. So certain Chicago native.
That part I'm kind of on board for. If you want to clear out all the guys clogging up TV, that free up spot for young guys.
Renee wondered if that was an official call out to Sting for his final match. Nick pulled out his phone as if they got a message, and he said they had a meeting.
Yeah, I thought that Matt sucked for the first part of this. I felt like he was a guy that didn't rehearse. Like, he wrote his little speech but didn't go over it enough and was kind of, like, tripping up a little bit. I don't know. I didn't think he sounded good at all. And then I don't really understand what's happening. Sting is retiring. You don't have to take out Sting. He's done. It's like you're doing a legend killer thing, but the first legend's already dead. Like, I prefer the Bucks as heels, but I don't get whatever they're trying to do here. I guess they're leaning into weird executives.
Yeah, I don't mind that because I thought this was solid, and I just think like it's interesting. It's an actually different, distinguishable character for the Bucks because like I feel like even last time they turned heel, it was still the Bucks. You know what I mean? So I feel like them actually taking a change. And I feel like it's like the Tony Storm thing. I feel like you're gonna have to kind of see where it goes. And at least it's not. I don't feel like it's going to be a comedy thing.
And again, I think I assume that these guys are douchebags in real life to a certain degree, I think, which is why I never want to like them, but I end up enjoying their stuff. So I think this is a comfortable role for them because they are more entertaining when they're heels.
I do enjoy them.
I just didn't love this as a first, like, hey, this is our new character. I don't know.
I thought it was solid.
Hopefully it evolves into something.
Matthew did a lot of talking here, but he does it well. He speaks better than Nick, I think, on usually. So
I thought it was better second half. The first part I thought was
fair.
weak.
It got off to a rocky start for sure, but I thought he found his footing. So it did kind of make me chuckle, like when he said you're welcome to Renee for her paycheck, or I like when he just referred to Sting as a model employee. That amused me, and it gets the character across kind of. The talk of the old card being cancerous and whatnot seems a callback to Mr. Brooks, which I find amusing.
And I'm okay if they clean that part up.
If they are serious about which I don't think they are, killing off
Flair,
Sting,
Jeff
Dustin, Jarrett, Hardy's, Edge, keep Christian because I like him.
Just listen to us.
Yeah, we will tell you who to take out.
Like.
Yeah. So I kind of like the angle they're working here. I'm interested to see where it goes at least. And more serious and authoritative Bucks could be worth trying out. Because like I said, it's a new venture for them. So regardless, I think it's definitely worth seeing out just because the Bucks, I think that's the complaint some people have had, right? Is that the Elite generally tend to stay the same whether they're heel or face. I think this is very clearly different.
And there is an opportunity to do and maybe this is what they're doing and it'll become more clear is we tried being the bosses that are just one of the guys and now we have to, we've realized we have to be more authoritative or whatever.
Exactly. And I think that's an interesting angle to go with. So it's all about where they take this. I think this was a solid segment on face value, and then I think it's got potential for sure.
Okay, I hope so.
Next we get Bullet Club Gold or Bang Bang Gang, I don't know, versus Mogul Embassy for the ROH World 6-Man Tag Team Championship. And first, from what you can remember, thoughts on the new theme for Bullet Club Gold?
My first note is new theme and Jack is sidetracked.
I knew it was coming.
I thought it was fine. I don't know.
I've listened to it. I think it's pretty
strong
good.
opinion.
I like it. It reminds me a little bit of Hangman, but it does fit them, and I like that at least they've got a group theme now. Because whenever they did group matches, they always use Jay White's theme, which I think is good for him.
Did we know this match was coming, or is there some sort of okay?
I think there's a challenge from one of them on Collision or Dynamite or Rampage or something.
That's why I wasn't aware.
There was a challenge though.
Okay.
But no, so yeah, I saw someone say that these titles are in contention for the most pointless belts with the women's tag, which is a sad truth.
And I like both of these teams, but
I do enjoy both of these teams. But it's got a bit of weird dynamic to me, heel on heel.
It does.
We'll see how it's executed. There's a corner uppercut Enziguri and followed by German suplex from Cage on Austin. And that's there. As much as we talk about Cassidy and Darby, the Guns are pretty good bodies to chuck around too.
Yep.
They're good like bump machines. So credit to them.
Austin loves to sell.
Austin for
he
sure.
He almost goes too far sometimes.
Sometimes, but generally speaking, I like his work.
Yeah.
With Austin's feet draped in the ropes, Khan and Leona hit a really nice like backstabber elbow drop combo, which was really nice. I got a 2 count. Full Nelson slam from Colton to Khan for 2. And worth noting, Khan's been using the pedigree lately, which I told you that he was going for it a couple times here.
It's got a weird name.
It's got some weird name that's a reference to something for him.
Cameroon looking at the mountain or something.
Yeah, it's just weird. Like, I get wanting to do a new finisher for him, but I wouldn't do something that's so well known. You know what I mean? Like, that's like, it'd be like if he went for like using a stunner as a finisher nowadays. You know what I mean? Something like that. Gates of Agony threw Austin with power on from Cage, which they'd done before, and then Khan followed with an air raid crash for 2. White tagged in and chopped a lot. It was almost like a hot tag for Jay White.
Yeah.
Which is weird.
It is weird.
It's weird. Uranage to Khan from White. Cage comes in with a discus lariat. Then he takes a 310 to Yuma, which is nice that they got him up for that. Good move.
Yep.
Nana distracts White, and Khan hit him with a gut check for 2. Khan distracts the ref. Nana comes in the ring trying to hit White with the belt, but Bones comes down, takes it away. Khan rolls up White for 2, but then he comes back with a Blade Runner, and Bang Bang Gang get the belts.
Yeah, so we get a title change.
Yeah, for Bang Bang Gang.
Of the meaningless belts, but
it's Bang Bang Gang.
Agree.
So.
I thought it was a fun match, and we get something that matters, right? A title change, and I'm hoping that the plan is that Bullet Club Gold is going to refuse the Acclaim's offer, and it's going to end
up how it has to go
with them uniting these titles.
And you give it all to Bullet Club Gold, damn it,
and absorbing them and getting rid. There's no way we need.
There's no need for ROH Truth.
Not at all.
You can have Cage and them in the AEW division. That's fine because, like we said, I like them.
And there's no reason for those titles.
We don't need the ROH belts. No, because every show and every pay per view, it's like you could Shot in the Dark pick 3 ROH guys and they're facing Mogul Embassy on pay-per-view.
Right.
And that's what it is.
And the main ones are never defended. So when you have the secondary ones, it's even like I like both of these teams, and I thought the match was pretty fun.
I thought the match was pretty well done for like a weird heel-on-heel dynamic.
Yep. I like Mogul Embassies. I like that.
I do like
trio.
My main complaint is the heel-on-heel dynamic, though, because it made Bullet Club Gold pseudo babyfaces, which I don't like.
No, I don't
They're
like that
perfect
either.
heels. They are perfect heels that factions made to be heel. I don't like them as baby faces. The action was solid, though. Gates of Agony have some cool offense. I like some of their stuff.
They do.
And Cage is fantastic in the ring, obviously. And Guns are great to bump around, so it all works. White's all around great as well. The finish was fine, but not a fan again of the whole supergroup plot. I'm hoping it's all a sham and Bullet Club Gold go even more heel and turn and claim them and get the unification like you're saying. Bang Bang Gang get some more gold. And I've noticed an interesting plot, and I told you about this. When they put out the theme, it was specifically called the Bang Bang Gang theme, and the Tron video that they put with that only says Bang Bang Gang. And then also I've seen all on the post, like when I saw the new champs graphic, it said Bullet Club Gold on the side, but then there's also a Bang Bang Gang logo, and then
are they phasing out Bullet Club Gold?
That's what I'm curious. I keep seeing Bang Bang Gang of Bullet Club Gold, which I didn't like the implication because Juice Robinson's not here, so is he not Bang Bang Gang?
I just like it as a nickname.
That's what I'm saying. I like Bullet Club Gold's cool because it's like Jay White was forced out of the last Bullet Club, so he got his own, which I like better. And then Bang Bang Gang's it's just a funny nickname because they're weird like that.
Yes.
And I like that. And I feel like they could be facing a Bullet Club Gold, whether they just want to get away from that and they don't want to worry about sharing that name with New Japan or something. I don't know. I hope they just keep the Bullet Club Gold name because it's easier. My shirt's not outdated and whatnot, but it was something worth noting. But the theme was cool, and then I watched the Instagram. They had like a post-match promo up on there, and I told you they got a new cardboard cutout.
Yes.
Card Blade is fired, and now they got Rock Card Juice Board, which I think is really funny.
Card Blade's the hottest free agent. Where's he gonna go?
Sign Card Blade instead of Okada. That's the big TNA signing. It's Card Blade.
Could be.
Card Blade. Yeah. Next we get Adam Cole with Wardlow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Cole says Wardlow hasn't even scratched the surface of what he's capable of, and he will go down as the most dominant wrestler in AEW history. So Cole's just discrediting himself. And the AEW title will belong to the Undisputed Kingdom. Wardlow says, boom.
Yeah. Again, they're already implying in this promo, too, that Wardlow wouldn't necessarily keep the title that he wins. So you're starting him off in like the exact same spot he was with MJF, right? It's like, we're just doing this all over again right from jump with this.
Which
group.
at one point I don't care because I don't like Wardlow. I don't care what he does, but at the same time I don't want to watch it happen again.
It makes him look stupid though. He doesn't see this coming.
I think he does.
I
think he does. Because there's no way in hell. That's why I think it's dumb on the part of Cole. Because there's no way in hell, after everything Wardlow's been through, that Cole knows about, that Wardlow would just sit here and play second fiddle to give up a title. Like, I think it's dumb either way. Because either Wardlow's dumb for doing this again, or Wardlow's smart for doing this again because he knows Cole will help him get to the title. And then Cole's dumb.
Right.
Which I don't like because Cole's not dumb.
I know.
So either way, I don't like this. As much as I'm like, I don't hate this faction as much as you, and
I'm not a fan.
I don't hate everything about it. I'll give a chance to the Kingdom because they haven't done a crap ton of TV that I don't like. But when it comes to this
you'll see.
When it comes to this Wardlow stuff, this is where I can't defend them because I think they ruined Wardlow for me. It's not like I ever loved him, but they blew their shot with him.
Yeah.
I think Wardlow's someone, maybe they fumbled him, or maybe he just never meant to be here.
Yeah,
but I think Wardlow is someone, not even in a rude way, but he needs to get out and go to WWE. I genuinely think he could do well there.
And heel Cole sitting and talking about how great someone is doesn't, I don't know.
Yeah, unless it's him.
Right.
He needs to be talking about how great he is, because Cole is awesome, damn it. Mm-hmm. Cole's great as a heel talker. I just don't like the Wardlow praise. And people keep saying because he was supposed to be Keith Lee's manager, and now people are making jokes about that, which I find funny, but at the same time, that's stupid. He's injured. It's whatever. Next, we get Deonna Purrazzo versus Santa Che.
Yeah, way to put... Annoyed, because I really like Purrazzo. Way to put her up against someone she can really showcase her technical prowess against, right? Let's put her in the ring with one of the worst workers in the division.
Who can you put her with, though?
I don't know, but Anna Jay's among the worst, right?
Willow Stylian is babyface. I feel like you need to put her against a heel, although Anna Jay wasn't heel here. So
it has to be someone she can clearly beat and somebody that who can actually wrestle. So I don't
Willow.
know. I don't know who that would be.
I'm really just thinking Willow or Stylander.
I'd be fine to feed her Thunder Rosa, but I don't think
I don't like Thunder Rosa.
No. And I don't think they think that she's at the level she should be losing to Purrazzo in her debut. But anyways, this is what we got.
Dynamite debut.
I'll think of somebody maybe that would be in a better idea.
I think you definitely need to build to Purrazzo.
Even Queen Aminata is way better.
There
right?
it is. We got it. You need to build to Purrazzo versus Deeb for sure.
I think so.
Why wasn't Deeb wrestling?
Put them in a little group together.
No, I just want them to feud. I want Deeb to win too.
Yeah.
What was her finisher though? Detox. That's what I was thinking. Storm's on commentary.
Yeah, she was
great.
A lot this time, and I didn't. Anyways, I'll talk about it when you're done.
The cracks have been showing, but the cracks are really. I
feel like we're the only ones that feel that way. Maybe I don't know. I haven't heard anything this week.
I've seen people been high on this since it started, but I haven't seen any discourse other than us.
I think it's almost like overreaction because they do so little with the women's division when they go all in on something like this, and people want to
I'll keep saying I appreciate them trying something, but at this point, I'm like, I think we can agree it's a failed experiment. I guess we can't agree, but
no,
I think
we can in this little studio.
I think
probably.
we can say it.
I mean, palatial studio.
Yeah,
palatial penthouse studio.
What's palatial mean?
Like humongous, like a palace.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
It's a palatial penthouse studio.
Yep.
All those things.
Pump kick from Purrazzo for 2. Short arm Thia Doom and a backstabber from Jay for 2. Gotta get that Thia Doom in. I honestly could have typed Thia Doom in the notables and I wouldn't even have to watch the match.
No, you know it's coming.
It's at that point.
At least one Thia of Doom, sometimes 2.
I like this one. It's like it reminds me that I think Booker T used to do that kind of move where he wrenches him around and then does like this side kick.
Yep.
Like that. Although I feel like Booker would make sure his foot connected.
Probably.
You're supposed to do that.
Booker's good.
I feel like you just compliment Booker T. Nah, I'm taking that out of
Not
context.
on commentary.
I'm taking that out of context.
In ring, sure.
I'm gonna just listen
Cut
to this
that.
episode
Yeah.
to soundbite that, and then I'm gonna get it on a soundboard.
You're
and
going to
I'll
actually
put it.
learn how to do all that just to do
I will
it.
learn that just to spite you.
I would love you to.
I'll start collecting. You like Booker T on commentary more than anybody I know.
That's correct. Love him. He's the best.
Sorry, what was it? Yeah, I don't know if like this is better. I think the corner version's worse because it's like there's not a lot. There's less room for her to work with, and you can clearly see her like the meat of her thigh like
Yeah.
hit there,
It's what it is.
which I'm demonstrating with my new Carmelo Hayes.
Yep.
Anyways, there was that. Yeah. Peraza countered out of a Queenslayer into an armbar, but Jay is able to reach the ropes. Bit of a strike exchange, and then finish comes in. Peraza submits Jay with the Venus de Milo,
Which I think is a cool finisher.
The double Fujiwara armbar.
And I will say Jay is flexible enough or has enough range of motion that
Yep.
it looked pretty
For
tight.
Sorry, I just gotta get the post match.
Oh, yes.
Which you loved.
I did.
Peraza talks about how her and Storm go way back, which I'm like, again, because I feel like they did that with her and Hayter, and they had picture proof to back it up.
I mean, it's
and, like,
probably true, but at
it's
this
probably
point,
true,
it
but
sounds lazy.
It sounds like because it's with so many women. It's like her and them. It's like I feel like they did with Statlander and someone. I swear it was Statlander or something. I don't remember who, but they did with Ripley and Raquel in WWE. It's Io and Asuka or something, or it's like I don't know. I just feel like, especially in the women's division, they've done it so many times. Like we were sisters way back, and it's like I don't know. The Storm Hayter,
and you didn't return my call. Let's throw in another trope along the way.
that worked with AR Fox, but.
Yeah.
I feel like they did. I think with Storm and Hayter, we said they just did it, but that one at least worked because they had like the guys at the pandemic, and they had I think picture proof. I'm pretty sure that one worked for me, but it feels like we just did that kind of.
Yes.
Which where's Jamie Hayter?
I guess it's a small like sorority of people who actually wrestle, so you get to know everyone everywhere. But
It still feels lazy.
It
It
does.
just does, and maybe that's just my perception. That's not their fault, but
Right.
it is what it is. That's how I feel.
Yep.
So she says clearly Storm has changed quite a bit, but so has she. Storm was close with her, but never met the best female technical wrestler, Serena Deeb, and the virtuosa. Storm calls her something like it was like a tan hag or something, and says her past is none of Peraza's concern. Storm says we have to go to commercial, and signs up with the tits out, watch out for the shoe, whatever. And her and Mariah may throw shoes at Peraza.
yeah, Peraza's really good. Anna Jay isn't, so this is kind of what you get. Like
Yeah,
it was
it was-
fine,
So we got really good and really bad. We meet in the middle for fine.
right? And so I don't know if I just try and put myself if as someone who hasn't seen a lot of Deonna Purrazzo, am I impressed here? And you should be, and maybe you're not. I mean,
I feel like I'd be interested, but I don't think I would be impressed per se.
and you're gonna get with Purrazzo a ton of arm targeting. It's kind of what she's always, which I like. It's a consistent story where she's always going for their arms for her finisher. So I don't know. The match is fine. It's getting her a little bit of momentum, I guess. And then I don't know. Like I said, this is just Toni Storm trying too hard now for me.
Yeah.
I'm finding this less amusing than I have at times. Sometimes it's kind of hit and miss. This was more of a miss.
It's very hit or miss, yeah.
And I hope that Purrazzo can take the title off Storm, but I doubt it, right? And then Purrazzo sounds good in her post-match promo, but then it's hard to come across serious when Storm is the person you're feuding with, and she's doing the whole, like,
Yeah.
I don't even know who you are, I'm getting your name wrong.
Which is a
and
great thing to do. Your
I'm
big new
assigning
signing.
you to a decade that you weren't even born for, and, like, I don't know. It's just tough to come across as serious when
Yeah,
you're playing off
absolutely.
a Toni Storm.
Do want her to take the title for sure, but it feels like the way Taya Valkyrie came in. She came in and immediately went for the champion,
How
and then
dare
she
you
lost.
compare Purrazzo to Taya Valkyrie?
That's a weird thing to say, like, looking back.
Yes.
Because we used to like her. But anyway, it's like, just the way it's presented doesn't feel like a title change to me, but
No.
I'm ever hopeful. Because my dream would be Peraza wins the title Revolution, Double or Nothing, we get Deeb Peraza.
Yeah, let's go.
Or maybe not even a Double or Nothing, but down the line, we get Deeb Peraza because Deeb should have the title.
I agree.
Deeb absolutely deserves the title. Deeb deserves the longest run with the title. It's stability for the division, you know?
She and you could really like sell that match as like two of the technical
You do.
masters.
You give AEW their first Iron Woman match. I feel like
your-
Peraza and Deeb
it's
in like
your
a
Saber Danielson.
exactly Peraza and Deeb in like a 30-minute or even an hour-long like women's match. That'd be crazy.
Yep.
That'd be awesome. Giving them like with all the flack Dynamite matches get for the women's division on TV, but like imagine giving them an hour-long match on pay-per-view. That would be awesome.
Mhm.
Then I feel like that's definitely deserved for those two. So I would like to see something with them. But it was fine. It wasn't the best showcase for Purrazzo, but she looked good enough as you could with Anna Jay. Again, not the best opponent for her. Really a questionable choice. But it was about as good as you could get, I think. Post-matches or whatever, because Purrazzo is pretty solid. But again, like you said, it's really hard to just be serious and get across a point when you're dealing with Storm shtick. Like, it just kind of kills it. And it's just, like, over the top. And it's just not working for me now. Especially here, it's just, like...
You're behaving like a normal human, and she's behaving like a cartoon character.
It's, like, overpowering.
And it's jarring.
And not in a good way. Yeah, absolutely. It's jarring for sure. Purrazzo can have the title. That's totally fine by me, and hold it for Deeb. I'm like, we've had a couple of packages for Deeb. Get Deeb on TV, please.
She's coming.
Thank you.
Hopefully not to Ring of Honor.
Oh, if she goes to Ring of Honor, man, I'm gonna be sad because I don't think there's anything that can get me to regularly watch Ring of Honor unless it's like consistency.
Right.
But like, no one thing will get me watching that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't even know if I'll watch SmackDown for Pete Dunne. That's like, it's that kind of thing. That's not true. I might. Then we get Private Party's return match against Top Flight. They said it's their first match since like some Rampage in 2022, which that's pretty crazy.
And I'm happy to say that I don't know who will win this match. I mean, you assume Private Party because they're coming back and everything, but it's not guaranteed. Yeah.
Quen Hurricane runs Dante New Down Gear from Cassidy, and they followed up with Springboard Crossbody from Cassidy, which is nice. Quen runs to opposite sides of the ring. He had a dive to Dante, then Darius, then Dante, then Darius. I thought he ran a little too slow, but the dives connected nice. So
yeah, it was weird, I thought, too.
That's fine. 450 splash to Dante for 2 from Quen after that, which I thought was really nice and flush. Darius did this cool like Pele kick stepping off the ropes.
Yeah, it looked neat. Out of the corner. It looked really cool.
Then the finish came when it was weird. They hit Private Party hit the Gin and Juice to Dante, which is like the Frankenstein or Hurricane Rana into a cutter, which always looks cool. I like it. And then Quen like rolled up Darius with a rope assist for the win, which is weird.
Yeah, it looked kind of strange. It, I don't know. It was funny because the even commentary referred to them, quote, as great young high-flying teams, yet the first several minutes they were not doing that, right? There was even some holds and counters and other things. I thought Quen looked strange with the white shirt under his gear, just something I noticed.
I was hoping, like I was saying to you,
he looked a little heavier and slower than...
Maybe that was it, yeah.
He might not
he needs
be
to get back in ring shape. Maybe it's
fine.
just ring rest, and that's okay because he's been gone a while. I wanted him to wear, like, remember when he had, like, the weird cape thing?
Yeah.
That looked... He used to have a really cool look, honestly.
Yeah. So I don't think this was bad, but not what I was expecting. The first 2/3 of this didn't really showcase the strengths of either team, like their speed and high-risk stuff.
Yeah.
I thought it picked up the last few minutes, and the finish was a little bit clunky. I'm not sure what exactly they were going for. So a fine match. I just expected more, and it makes sense to have Private Party win in their return, and I don't think a loss hurts Top Flight at the point they're at right now, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
I'm happy to
Top Flight can take a loss, for sure.
I like their entrance. I like their whole, like, we're party club guys. We don't take things too seriously. We fly around the ring. I don't think they needed to have that change they did before, so I'm kind of glad they're back to original.
It was strange that they kind of seemed like they... like had a heel win here, but like they've been acting like babyfaces in the entrances and whatever. So
right, and then
I kind of hope they stay as babyfaces. I just think like it's like, especially with the shots theme. The shots theme, it's like it's really a crowd thing.
I was just gonna say the crowd really wants to cheer for them, right? So
and I think they're really likable. So I think their gimmick can definitely work either way. Like because the party guy thing can definitely go either way. But I would like them to see them as babyfaces. I think maybe just because I'm still a little butthurt because last time they were heel, that's what ruined them, right? They turned heel and then became these serious guys and they were just boring.
Yes,
so
they were.
I'd like to keep them as babyfaces for a while. And I think they could be really likable, and especially with the shots thing, that's like a good crowd thing to get them invested. Like it's like Rollins' theme or Nakamura's theme back in the day, or like like a good chant with like, or even Trick Williams if you want to do a current one as well. Just having that, it's like it gets the crowd invested, right? So I like that.
Me too.
It was a solid match. It felt like I feel like it could have had a better flow to it. Is the word. It was a little clunky in the early goings, but it found its footing towards the end. Some cool spots like the Pele from Darius and Private Party had a couple of nice double teams. I like to see the Gin and Juice. It's a simple, but it's a cool move.
It is.
I feel like the finish, it was weird. I feel like they hit their finisher on Dante and somehow like
Darius was legal
they
or
realized
something?
It was the wrong guy, and then so they improvised a roll-up finish.
Yeah.
And he was near the ropes. It's like, I don't know, because it just seemed weird to me.
It did.
So I don't know what the deal was.
Me either.
But I don't know, it feels like something like that. Anyways, it's good to see Private Party back. I hope they keep the momentum. I would be okay if they managed to dethrone Starks and Big Bill. I'm not opposed to that.
Me either.
I'd like to give them something. Like, we just need the tag division to be revived, and As much as
Remember,
I
they
like
beat
Starks
the Hardys
and
in
Bill,
their first match. They beat their Hardys or the Bucks in the
in the
first
tournament.
match.
Yeah, way back. Then we get Sting and Darby promo package because that's what I want.
Mm-hmm.
Darby talks about their 26-0, quite frankly, a ridiculous record. Stupid. And he says the story will end with them as tag champs.
Sure.
Absolutely not.
I said it's quick and inoffensive.
It is offensive.
I don't care.
Much offense.
The best thing about Sting retiring is going to be hopefully that Darby can break free of this. Because it's really just put him in kind of a holding pattern. He's not going to get any belts or anything.
He did get a belt. He got the TNT belt.
Sting's grandson sort of thing. You know?
It's kind of like Jericho and Guevara. Although I would argue Jericho's work because sometimes Sting leaves Darby alone. Well, more than Jericho, and like
to get his butt kicked by Takeshita and whatnot.
That's okay.
Yeah,
I'll take that. Or like Darby had the brief mini feud with Samoa Joe for the TNT title, which he got a brief run out of.
Yeah.
Remember that? But anyways, this is fine. But the last line really irks me for two reasons. First off, in no way is it a good idea to have Sting hold any title of your major wrestling promotion in 2024. That is ridiculous and it's stupid. He's not even able to actually wrestle. We saw that last week very evidently. Let's not forget what he did to Hobbs. He's incredibly old, and your guys can't really do anything to him. Again, Exhibit A, Your Honor, Hobbs. And secondly, he's retiring at Revolution. Are you meaning to tell me you're going to have Sting and Darby win the titles only for Sting to just retire and vacate them? That's arguably the biggest reason he shouldn't have the titles. And there's just really, it's just the icing on the cake. That line confused me because is Darby really that? Like, why wouldn't you have like thought of this sooner when Sting announced his retirement? Like, why are you going for the titles now? Like, this is stupid. I don't want them going for the titles ever. But
just so Sting ends with gold and he can't handle a singles match, I don't think at this point. So, I don't know.
Sting should not end up with gold, though. What are you saying? Listen to yourself.
I don't think he should. They think that because it's Sting.
No one thinks that in their right mind. Matthew and Nicholas need to get on this. Okay? They need to get on this. They need to kill Sting. Get him.
Maybe.
Then we come to our main event, which is an interesting prospect. It's Samoa Joe defending the AEW World Title against Hook. He's got the spotlight in his entrance again, which it's an interesting touch. The bat signal for Hook. So right at the gate, Hook charges at Joe with strikes. Joe just kind of flings him out of the ring, and then Hook came out at him with a flying forearm from the barricade. Later on, Joe hit that corner back elbow enziguri that he hits usually the vintage Samoa
all
Joe.
The time.
Very nice. Basement Larry from Hook, then flying right, coming from off the apron after Joe had rolled out of the ring. Really nice. Joe like Uranagi him through the announce table, just like the way he like snapped off and the table kind of crumbled after.
I saw
really well done table spot.
Just before we came down, I saw it from a fan's camera angle from the other side, and that whole other side is like empty. All the seats are empty behind there, like where the camera is. I guess it was interesting to see.
I hope they fix that.
And one thing I noticed that I liked about Hook is he didn't even look at Joe. Like, he had his back to Joe the whole entrance. He was like in the opposite corner.
And he just came at him.
Like, couldn't even be bothered to look at him. I thought that was cool.
And then Joe powerbombed on the apron, which also looked awesome.
It did.
Scoop slam from Joe. Death Valley driver from Joe for 2, which was really nice. He got him like on the high angle, which you like to see. Muscle buster for a 1 count.
Yep.
Which is interesting. Which is sometimes questionable. It sometimes works.
Got a good reaction. So I don't know. That's what you're trying to do. So.
And Hook is like has been built up to be.
Yes.
A killer. So
and the commentary the
work.
whole time, it's like, we got Tazzy, he'll never stop. He'll never quit. He'll never give up.
Yeah. Hook came back with a series of flying clotheslines. Really great fire in here, I thought. Corner shots to Joe, followed by a T-bone suplex. He went for the red run, but Joe countered and choked him out in the Coquina clutch. Post-match, you can hear Hook shouting, "Is that all you got?" as Joe was leaving the ring. And Joe came back in, kicked him hard in the nuts. Like,
I loved it.
He kicked him in the nuts so good. That was a really convincing low blow. And then he hit another muscle buster. Hook is getting up to his feet again. Joe is going back into the ring, but the Hangman Page runs out with his stupid mustache, and Joe leaves the ring. And then we see Swerve with his stupid eye makeup standing in the crowd.
Yeah, I thought this match had a really cool dynamic to it. I
thought it was surprisingly well done.
And I'm going to give a lot of credit to Joe. Not that Hook didn't do his part, but
obviously
Joe is so believable as just a dominant, ass-kicking veteran champion, right? And then he's just so big, too. And then you've got this kind of small, less experienced Hook, but he just won't give up, right? He's the resilient little baby face. He did a good job, but this is Joe because he's so believable. And just any flurry by the underdog kind of gets the crowd invested,
I thought,
right?
given my expectations, all this really worked.
Well, and because they're like, yep, this match is going to be, 85% Joe killing Hook. And that is the right way to do this, because
which I
that's
didn't
Joe.
know if that would work, because Hook's been so dominant most of the time, but I thought it really worked here.
I did too.
And I thought, especially towards the end, the crowd really got behind Hook. And I've seen a lot of people saying Hook is a star after this.
He picked up a lot in this loss here, right?
Which I think that's what you want, because you don't always have to win.
And the added touch of he doesn't tap out, he passes out. When he does come to, he still calls him on and takes another muscle buster, right? So
big kick to the balls.
I think everybody comes out of this looking good, right? So I quite like the main event. I don't think it was like an all-time amazing one, but
I thought it was really worth a watch.
Really good. Yeah.
I think this really worked for me. After the initial buzz and excitement of Hook, because he was really hot when he came in, people loved him. I think he cooled down, and I think this match really got people behind him again. At least it definitely got me like looking at him again for sure. If the crowd reaction is anything to judge by, this got people invested. And I've seen some people on social media really liking this. Like I've heard really positive things about this before we watched.
And I was like you said, I was nervous because you've presented Hook in a certain way.
But this,
and I can't have him being competitive with Samoa Joe at this point. But how do you? Because all he's ever done is crush people in short matches.
They did the opposite, and it somehow
worked. It also makes Joe look awesome, because here's this kid that's dominated everybody else, and
he
Joe just kills him.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's good.
With how Hook has been presented for most part, like you said, I wasn't sure this would work, but they ended up going a really smart route with this, having like it's a more vulnerable side of Hook, which I think you need, because I think that was what part of the issue with Goldberg, right? Is he was just dominant. So I like having a vulnerable side to Hook is good, because they didn't extend it too long. They had Joe dominant, which is good, and then Hook had these energetic flurries, which really worked with the audience. I thought. And it definitely got him over here, and it showed me that he can bump pretty good too. He looked really good getting ragdolled by Joe, and part of that is Joe, because his offense is awesome. He's a really great, dominant veteran, like powerhouse kind of guy. He's awesome. So it's definitely a lot to do with Joe, but I think Hook deserves his flowers too, because he sold really well and his offense was cool. The table and apron spots back to back were sweet.
Yes.
And I hope this eases Hook into being able to work more complete matches. Because there's only been a handful of times where we've seen him actually on the back pedal, like against Jack Perry and whatever. So this, I thought, was really good. If Hook becomes more well-rounded, he's got a really good future.
He does, definitely.
So this is well done, though, and I think they were kind of mimicking Undertaker and Jeff Hardy from 2002 in the post-match, and that's not a complaint. That's just, it feels similar to me. But I think they did a really good job with this for something that, like, I gave them flack for, right? Because this and the Jinder match this week were both questionable title matches, and I think one delivered more than the other. I thought so. This was really well done, surprisingly.
I liked it too.
An amazing match, but a good main event and something that over-delivered for me. And then after keeping Hangman and Swerve in the conversation is also well done.
Ending the show with them, like, this is your main event.
I like that there's, like, keeping it, like, it's been the last couple of weeks we're getting reminded that these guys are in the title hunt, and I like that. You got to keep on it, right?
And so it's pretty simple. People just want the championship, right? And that's realistic. And then those two also have lots of side issues, obviously.
Absolutely. I like that, because it's like there's the overarching issue of the title, but then there's other dynamics in play, which is good, because that's kind of like the C2. There's the overarching, you want to win the tournament, but there's all these other things going on. So it's like a mini version of that, which is what you like to see.
I do. So again, I didn't really love anything on this episode, but I did like the main event.
Agreed.
The big segment was probably the Bucks one, and I didn't really think that was great.
That's true.
I don't think it was a tough watch. I thought about a C+, but I settled on a B-. I felt like nothing was really bad, but nothing was super memorable, which to me it's a fine show, but not great. So that's a B-, like a Canadian, like 7 basically out of 10.
I agree. Overall, not an amazing show. It's definitely a pickup from last week on the whole, I felt like, but it's still missing something great. Like, again, they really started this year off great, and I'm just waiting for them to kind of hit that stride. But I've got confidence still good. I'm still got to give them a chance, obviously. In ring-wise, the best thing was probably the main event, and honestly, just really well worked, given my expectations. It raised Hook's perception. I'm hoping this is just them, like, working on Hook, because I feel like if they don't do it right, he could go the way of Wardlow for me, right?
Yes.
So I'm really happy that this delivered, because I didn't want to dislike it, right? I thought it was just a really weird choice, but they ended up surprising me pleasantly. Opener was solid, given the guys involved, nothing notable. OC and Trent Penta Commander was good in ring, but random, mostly just for a post-match, which was fine. Trios match was good quality, enjoyed the new theme and the win for Local Gold. Women's match was meh, and the post-match was less good. party top flight could have been smoother, but solid. Segment wise, the only thing that stands out was the Bucks, which was refreshing for me. It's interesting at least. Good interviews from Hangman Swerve, solid Roddy. Deanna was good, minus Tony obviously. Sting Darby, whatever. Cole was fine, and Briscoes was nice. So overall solid. I think it was better than last week, but still a B minus.
Yeah. All right, well, we're going to move from talking about Dynamite to talking about some trivia in a segment that we like to call Off the Top of His Head. All right, you ready? Now, I picked this topic even before you got the big news, just because you had spent so much time talking about him last week. So it is...
Yeah, because I was certain.
ChatGPT's Pete Dunne's best matches, highest rated matches. My phrasing was...
I may have accidentally prepared for this.
Can you list and describe 15 of Pete Dunne's highest rated WWE matches?
Probably.
And they said blah, blah, blah as of update in January 2022. So nothing newer than that. But
So probably nothing from 2.0.
So we'll see what we get here.
He was done a couple months, or he wasn't done, a couple months after that. So I guess that makes sense.
First one is going to be hard because it's just from NXT TV on March 10th of 2021. But it faced a dominant opponent in a singles match. This is an opponent you do not like.
Cross?
Correct. I don't remember that match specifically, but...
We definitely reviewed it, though.
14, NXT TakeOver Vengeance Day 2021.
Balor.
Correct.
I just watched that.
Okay. NXT TakeOver War Games 4.
Well, let me do the math on that. That would be him, McAfee.
Nope.
What?
Not according to ChatGPT. Triple threat match.
That would be War Games 3.
So 3, not 4?
Yeah.
So who is it?
Him, Priest, and Killian Dane.
Correct.
Okay, so that would be War Games 3, because first one was 2017, 2018. That one was 2019, so that would be War Games 3, yes?
Uh-oh. So then, the next one they're saying is NXT TakeOver War Games 3. It's a singles match. Clash of styles and personalities. Somebody no longer with WWE if this match happened.
I don't think he had a singles match at War Games.
They're saying Matt Riddle.
No.
Definitely not, eh?
I don't think him and Matt Riddle ever had a singles match. Remember, they had the tag team, but remember, Dunne was trapped overseas because of the pandemic. Then remember, Thatcher replaced him, and then Thatcher turned on Riddle, and then we had Fight Pit.
Thatcher.
Fight Pit.
NXT TakeOver New York.
Walter?
Yes. All right. They're back
the
on track. Here's a blast from the past. I
Okay.
forgot about this guy. WWE UK Championship Tournament.
Like in the tournament?
I think so, yeah. Quarterfinals.
Oh, I should know.
We saw him a bunch. Smaller guy from UK.
Travis Banks?
Yes. Wow, I forgot he existed.
He was out in the Speaking Out, I think.
I think
he was
you're
one
right.
of those
He
guys.
got tangled up in that.
Yep.
NXT TakeOver Chicago 2.
Chicago 2.
Electric Boogaloo. Unless it's wrong, obviously.
Okay, so I feel like, is it Tyler Bate?
No.
Okay, so, because that was Chicago 1. Chicago 2. I don't think he...
It says, faced off against a high flyer.
Neville?
No. They're saying Ricochet.
No.
Not
Chicago
happening.
2, that was Ricochet Velveteen Dream.
Nice. Okay, so...
I'll check, but I'm almost positive.
An episode of NXT in 2018. Against a charismatic, unique performer.
Velveteen?
Yep. Did that happen? I don't know.
I have no idea. That one's an NXT TV, so I don't... That's...
Another one from...
Is there a date on that?
It says September 19th, 2018. And the next one's June 13th, 2018.
June 13th, sorry.
And 2008.
Ricochet and Pete Dunne's champion versus champion match ended without a winner when Undisputed interfered, so no.
Okay.
No Velveteen.
So there was Ricochet and Pete Dunne, though, where they said that was Chicago 2.
So that might be confusing. Because remember, that was when Ricochet was North American champion, Dunne was UK champion, then UE interfered. Remember they had the three-way on TV where it was Cole, Dunne, and Ricochet for both titles, or sorry, for the North American or something like that, and they didn't do it.
NXT TakeOver New Orleans? If it happened?
He did have a match. That would have been him and Roddy.
Correct.
Versus AOP versus Undisputed Era.
It just says Pete Dunne versus Roderick Strong.
No. So that was the one, remember, where... So remember it was the Dusty finals, and him and Roddy were teaming for reasons I don't remember.
Yeah.
And so them and AOP got to the finals. Undisputed Era interfered, so again. And then remember, it's the 3-way finals. It was when Cole had won the ladder match in the opener. So he was competing twice because Bobby Fish was injured. And this is the one where Roddy turned on Pete Dunne, remember?
Yep.
That. So, see, I win.
NXT UK TakeOver Blackpool.
Joe Coffey.
Correct.
Yep. That was the one where Walter debuted after.
Random episode of NXT UK from 2018 against somebody now in NXT proper.
So that's Linda Poole.
Mm-hmm. He's part of a faction. Or a group.
Dar?
No. A bigger boy than that. With long hair. Wolfgang.
Huh.
Don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. Well, let's just, because it was wrong before, what is the date on that?
November 14th.
November 14th, so is that
NXT UK.
NXT.
The next one is from NXT in America.
What? Why does it say Tony D'Angelo and
2018? I don't think so.
Yeah. Okay. So sorry, because November 14th from last year, so that's funny. Sorry. Okay, I'm gonna keep. Sorry.
WWE United Kingdom Championship Tournament, 2017.
Ashton Smith versus Wolfgang. Nope.
Nice.
Okay. Sorry.
UK Championship Tournament, 2017. Small guy, mostly in a tag team now.
Bait?
No. Most recently in Impact.
Oh, Andrews.
Yes, correct. So that match actually happened.
I'm pretty sure.
And number 1, NXT TakeOver Chicago.
Gotta be Bait.
It is Bait. Correct.
I just watched that one. That one's classic.
Nice. Well, so I like that because ChatGPT was wrong, but then you get to show what you know when you correct them.
Especially with New Orleans.
You did very well. So now we will shift gears back into sort of reviewing and talking about any other wrestling stuff we watched that we liked or didn't like, I guess. It's Highspots and Restholds. All right, I told you I was really, really quickly going to fly through TNA's Hard to Kill, as it's their sort of returning back to their previous brand, blah, blah, blah. Did you want to say anything about the venue set? You sort of checked it out, I think.
Screen was bigger. They had one tunnel.
Yeah.
It was fine. It looked slightly bigger, but honestly, not much of a difference.
No, it's not. It looks a little bit bigger to me.
But it doesn't look like big time or anything like that.
And a lot of this show is centered around the System, which is a faction that has just shown up out of nowhere.
Well, yeah, because Evan Myers and Moose been teaming, but that was kind of brought about randomly.
It's
so
Moose, Myers, Edwards, Alicia, and the returning D'Angelo Williams.
Yeah.
Somehow, right?
Yeah.
So pre-show I didn't really watch. I did watch Crazy Steve, Tommy Dreamer. So as I hoped, Crazy Steve did become the digital media champion. And the big spot I told you was he used like 1 million forks. He shoved a bunch under Dreamer's shirt, and then he put a bunch on top of his chest
at
too,
least Steve won.
And hit a cannonball, I guess, and Steve wins. Then on the pre-show of note, Top Dollar showed up, and he's a heel and talked about, I don't know, whatever, and Joe Hendry interrupted him. Oh yeah, because Top Dollar played a music video that was mid, I would suggest. And then Hendry came out and interrupted him and said he had
a better one.
And it was
funny.
One of his comedy ones, mostly centered on the fact that Top Dollar's claim to fame is botching that dive to the outside, right? There's a lot of that in there. And winning some Cheez-It title, which I think he actually did in a commercial or something. Anyways, so that happened. And then match-wise, the opener was the Ultimate X match. That saw Giselle Shaw, who I predicted. She becomes the number 1 contender for the Knockouts title. The match had some sloppy bits to start. I thought by the end it was pretty fun. I thought Danny Luna, they tried really hard to make her look like a powerhouse and did a good job. And honestly, Zaya Brookside was kind of making her debut here. I thought they focused on her less than I expected her to.
Well, I guess she did get a singles match follow-up on Impact.
She did. So she wasn't too much of a factor. Solid choice for an opener. Everybody worked really hard. There was a spear spot off the cable. Someone jumped off Luna's back. Luna was on all fours, and it might have been Jody Threat. Somebody, anyways. It looked kind of cool. So they were willing to do a lot in this match. I thought it was pretty good. Then things kind of dropped off. We had Dirty Dango and PCO. So that was a DQ win for PCO in like minutes when Bravo got involved. And then it became a 6-man because Jake Something and Rhino came out to join PCO.
Rhino.
And then we got a basic like 8-minute match with PCO winning with the moonsault. And earlier in the match, he almost killed Dirty Dango with the D-Animator. He seemed to like land more on his like head than his chest sort of thing. And again, he's just going to really hurt somebody at some point.
Yeah, he's just throwing his weight. Right?
So this match didn't belong on the pay-per-view, one of the lulls. I didn't like the next match too much either. That was MK Ultra. A lot of it's the result. MK Ultra, I think, is one of the coolest acts in this company. And they lost to the returning, reforming, whatever, relapsing Decay, who've been doing the Courtney, what's her name? Courtney
Rush.
Courtney Rush and Jessica are now just all of a sudden back to being Decay. So it was a 7-minute match. Hate the decision to take the titles off the coolest tag team they have in either division, unless, of course, it means they're getting a singles push, one or both of them. I'd be fine with that. Decay is just really, really played out and not fresh, and I don't find either of them really good in the ring at this point. So I disagree with some of the decisions that they made here. Then we get what was possibly the match of the night and the beginning of a bunch of good matches, I thought here. It was Chris Sabin successfully defending his X Division title in a very good triple threat match with Kushida and Vikingo. This was 13 minutes, tons of good action as expected. Sabin pinned Kushida with the Cradle Shock. Again, a really fun, might have been the best match on the show. You watched this one with me, I'm pretty sure. Josh Alexander, Alex Hammerstone.
I might have been half watching. I remember seeing it being on, but I don't remember paying attention.
I quite liked it. I thought it was a really good physical back and forth. It got like almost 20 minutes, one of the longer matches on the show. I thought Hammerstone's offense looked really high impact. They worked well together. Josh Alexander picks up the win with the C4. One of my top probably 3 matches on the show, and I thought there was some good stuff on this show. Then we had ABC successfully defend their tag team titles. I thought it was a really good 4-way with the Rascals, Grizzled Young Veterans, and Bailey and Laredo Kid. Wasn't supposed to be Laredo Kid, but
it was supposed to be Trent Seven.
Travel problems for Seven, I think it was. So Laredo Kid stepped in. And it was evident in this match, but it seemed to be quite a bit of the night. Like the bottom left corner of the ropes there, people were sort of slipping off them a few times
you told me about
the night.
that.
So, but this was all action bell to bell. It didn't feel like it was super long, but it was really fun. So there's 3 matches in a row I quite liked. Then at some point here, they show us Ash by Elegance, even though Ray Walt keeps saying Ash by Excellence and has to be corrected by Hannah Fan at one point. So it's basically her just looking super elegant in like an evening gown, her hair done differently. She did look quite different from Dana Brooke, so that is at least a start.
It was funny because like they teased it earlier, right? And like people, I guess she had like
immediately are like,
or whatever.
Tony Storm rip off, but I don't think it is.
No, I think it was some like she has an OnlyFans or whatever. So people had already seen like so she was wearing that, so people knew it was her before they revealed her face.
I wouldn't have been entirely sure unless they I think they actually mentioned Dana Brooke the name once maybe. Anyways, then we had Jordan Grace defeating Trinity to win the Knockouts Championship as I kind of expected. This match really over-delivered for me. I'm not a huge fan of Trinity, as people that listen probably know, but I thought this match was really good. High quality 15-minute match. I was pretty into it by the end. I thought, and that's 4 matches in a row that were really good, and it looks like kind of like Trinity will be on her way out, although we do see her on the weekly show in a little bit. I'll talk about that.
I think it's because they taped it, obviously.
Yeah. Alex Shelley then successfully defended his TNA championship in the main event against Moose. I thought it was good, but not great. I didn't enjoy it as much as the previous 4 matches on this show, but still, it was not a bad match at all. Moose won with a spear, got about 22 minutes. So it looks like we're going to be getting a lot of the system for a while, which I'm not sure is what I want, but
yeah, it seems like a really lukewarm faction.
And it's just a bunch of veterans thrown together, right? So I don't know. There's no youth in there at all. They're all kind of stale, and
I still don't understand why.
And I like Myers
and Myers have been teaming together. I feel like it's one of those things where they threw together a match for the pay-per-view, and now it's like for some reason they decided to stick with Moose and Myers. Like it's been a few times, right? Like and Myers was with him when he won the Feast or Fire. Like I don't know, it's weird.
And then the big reveal, the biggest signing of all time. Not really for them. Dolph Ziggler does
when they've had Kurt Angle, Sting,
Nick Nemeth.
Yeah, Dolph Ziggler is here, I guess.
And so he hits the zigzag that they don't really say what they're going to call it on Moose, obviously, and
best finisher ever.
And that's all we sort of see from him. So he is the big surprise. So honestly, a good show. There were like 4 matches in a row there that I thought were quite entertaining. but it didn't really feel super different from Impact.
Would you say this felt like a new era or the first Dynamite? Which of the two?
It felt
like, because this one's supposed to be a reset, and I feel like the Dynamite really
felt like
a
similar product, just like kind of repackaged with different like.
They should go back to 6-sided to really make it different.
Yeah, and again, I'm hoping that
I don't know how hard that is to
focus
bring
on knockouts and X Division, which maybe it will be. I don't know.
But
it didn't feel super different to me.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, mixed in there was like, they sort of did an announcement of their thing with AAA. Scott D'Amore came out with the other guy from AAA.
Yelling about stuff again.
So there were little things in between. But overall, I kind of liked the show.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was quickly going to run through the 2/3 that we watched of Raw. You can back me up on any of this. I don't think you saw it.
I don't have anything from Raw.
I liked the opening Drew Cody segment.
I saw a bit of it.
I think Drew's really good. This is like the best he's been.
Drew is good. They just don't always give him time to be good.
But he's really comfortable. I liked what he kind of was saying, and Cody too. Like his sort of rebuttal was, I don't mind him on the mic when he's not. And Drew was kind of calling him out for all the crap I hate about Cody. Like, you're not sincere. Like, you don't come across as sincere. And that you should just be yourself, and this isn't the Cody I know, and you're doing this for somebody else, and blah, blah, blah. And like, I've kind of embraced my real self, and I'm doing the best I ever have, and you should too. And then Cody, like, will you keep referring to this match that we had, and don't forget who won, sort of mic drop moment.
It was it was McIntyre's last match before he came back. It was in like WCPW or something. It was on the Indies. And then they had one of those back in the 2010s. And there's a bunch of forgettable reigns. They were a team. So
I've been hearing good things about Drew, and I thought he was really
is
good
good.
here.
Yeah, he carried them in the pandemic for a reason.
But I think this is even better. He's more comfortable in this character.
I think they should give him a title run for sure.
He sounds great.
Yeah.
I like there was a segment right after with R-Truth selling T-shirts and Damian Priest like basically not being okay with it until he gets his cut of the money, and then suddenly Priest is like fine with him continuing to sell.
It's like JD McDonough's not in the group, so he doesn't get a cut. Like,
well, not only that, but his name's not on the shirt. So they're like, well, your name's not on the shirt, so why would you get a cut?
But like, it's also R-Truth being R-Truth.
It is.
It's funny sometimes, but it's like it's really doing a disservice to JD McDonough, I feel like.
And then I like the DIY versus Dom and JD McDonough.
That was good. There's
for a main roster tag match. That's good stuff.
There's one bit that they clipped on Instagram, which is like JD McDonough hitting a headbutt to Ciampa. And once I watched it a few times, you can see the thigh slap, but like the sound is so good.
That's awesome.
And then Gargano hits a super kick, which he thigh slaps really good. And then the whiplash JD McDonough's head, like with the longer hair, JD McDonough, I feel like long hair adds to selling. It's like the way it flips around. And then when Dom does a super kick without a thigh slap, there's the difference. Like thigh slap, yes, sometimes you notice, but like it adds to the thing, right? But yeah, no, there's some good sequences in there. And people complain about DIY a little. I feel like their presentation hasn't been the best so far.
It's not quite the same as it was.
So yeah, it's not the same. Their theme song is horrible. Hopefully they win the titles though, because that'll maybe hopefully get them on track. You know.
When part of the NXT thing was like, we're not getting pushed, we're not getting whatever, so we're just going to do it ourselves now, right? And we're going to just be undeniable.
We need to find a way to capture that again. I mean, it's Triple H running the show, so I feel like he should be able to do it.
Was not a fan of Hartwell LeRae against Chelsea Green and Piper Niven. Don't even remember who won. Just made a note that I didn't enjoy it.
I think it was Babyfaces. I noticed something.
Oh, it was Hartwell and LeRae.
I kept hearing it, and I noticed something was weird. That Hartwell and LeRae are using Johnny Gargano's heel theme from NXT, an instrumental version, which he used when they were in the way.
Yeah.
Which I find interesting, because it's like they repurposed the theme. So I hope they re-release it as an instrumental, because that's one of those themes where that we didn't record audio on here and re-upload on our iTunes so that I could listen to it personally. I would never do that. I'm not going to do that with more music at some point. That's dumb.
Gunther and Kaiser had an in-ring segment I thought was pretty good.
Oh,
He's
yeah,
proud of Kaiser for his vicious attack on Kofi.
Looked sick.
That attack
beating
looked
the crap out of Kofi the other week. Yeah. And I thought Gunther like hugging Kaiser.
Yeah.
It was really weird. And also Gunther declared for the Rumble, which we always complain about. But based on last year, I think Gunther deserves to declare for the Rumble. Mm-hmm. He lasted the whole time and almost won. Like, if anyone deserves
and he included that.
Yeah, so exactly. Like, he nearly won the thing.
And then the last thing, Woods and Kaiser had a match, which I thought was fine. And
yeah, it was fine.
Did Bartel win, I think? Sorry, Kaiser, I think, won.
By DQ.
Right. Oh, yeah, that's right. Because Woods lost his mind.
Threw a chair at him.
Just, yes.
The office chair.
Honestly, I watched 2/3 of Raw and didn't hate it. I didn't love everything, but definitely feels different. And that is a huge compliment for sure. Do you want to talk about a couple of your matches to give me a break, and then I'll do NXT?
Yeah. I'll run through my 3.
Yep.
So I didn't really talk about SmackDown, but I did watch some stuff literally all today.
Yeah.
So it's fresh in the memory. Because in my infinite wisdom, I knew it was coming. I knew the prodigal son would return. Peter Dunne is back. So I did some preparation. I played as him in 2K22, which I rebooted, and I also watched some matches. So I've got 3 matches that I like from Pete Dunne that I decided to revisit. The first one was probably one of his most well-known matches, which was the aforementioned match with Tyler Bate from TakeOver Chicago 2017. I haven't seen this one in a long time, so it's cool to revisit. I honestly don't remember if I've seen it since we watched it.
I probably haven't.
So I haven't watched this in a long time. It was a lot shorter than I remember. It was around 15 minutes. I double-checked Wikipedia. It was it was pretty short, so it could have been on TV, honestly. But it was as good as I remembered. For how young these guys were at the time, I think Bate had turned 20 since the tournament.
Yes.
And Dunne was probably 21 still, or maybe 22. They had some sweet stuff there. I remember the one part where Bate dives to the ropes and he gets the forearm midair and then the bitter end. So it was really cool, and the win was nice to see from Dunne. The second one that I watched, which I was telling you, was the TakeOver in Your House 5-way from 2021, which was Don Gargano, Cole, O'Reilly, and Karrion Kross. I always remember as the match that both of us enjoyed most when the champ was absent.
Yeah, they threw him through the door thing.
Yeah,
didn't they?
and they put him on
for 5 minutes.
The announce table as well. Yeah. The sequence where we got remember the one part where we get different combos of Don Gargano, Cole, and O'Reilly, they hit some double team offense in a string. That was really cool. That still lives long in my memory. A lot of enjoyable sequences in this one, and basically none of those involve Cross. His win is always a downer for me for sure. And the comparison between Dunne in 2017, even just in 2017 and 2019, compared to 2021 to present, is crazy. Ever since he returned and joined McAfee's crew, he's been so lean and jacked, and I love it so much more. Because he definitely put on a little, he was a little chubbier in 2020 when he grew out the beard. Remember in 2019, and then he came back to NXT main and was jacked and looking sick. And that's how he's looked.
Was he was a little bit of a bigger cruiserweight.
Yeah,
thing, I think
they built him on SmackDown tonight when he came back as 205. So it's funny, he would have fit barely 205 live.
Yes.
And the final one I watched was one I wanted to revisit because I kind of remember it, but I don't know if I really did, which was Dunne versus Balor from TakeOver Vengeance Day 2021. I think this is what you would call a sleeper hit because I like both these guys a lot, but I don't remember this being overly amazing. Not that it was bad, but I remember it being good, but just it didn't really stand out to me in this time of NXT where Balor was on a really good run and Dunne was doing really good. But upon a rewatch, I enjoy this a lot more. I think you would have really liked it too at the time, and maybe especially now. It was a way more technical match than you usually see from Balor, and it was really cool. The story with him was he had the injured left arm, and remember the jaw off the back of the O'Reilly matches he had.
Yep.
So that was a story throughout, and then Dunne worked that to perfection. He also ended up having an in-ring or a match-long story with the fingers because obviously Dunne is that he went heavy on that in this match. And Balor ended up targeting his left knee, which ended up creating a really well-crafted tactical battle where the injured limbs kept coming into play and they kept going after each other's. And there's a lot of submissions and holds and Dunne really wearing him down, which was really awesome. I think because it wasn't as memorable because there wasn't a lot of high spots or fast sequences, which we're used to seeing in TakeOver main events and matches, which is maybe why that's around. But it was a really good slow burn, I thought. It was a really slow burn, but a super quality match. And it was kind of suddenly over with the 1960, no coup de grace or anything. But Dunne looked great here. And this was also the post-match where Cole turned heel on.
I do remember him
winning
with that at some point.
Yeah. This is the one where Cole super kicked him and then O'Reilly. And this is also, I'd like to remember, this is definitely Balor's peak run. This is the Finn Balor I love most.
Where he figured out that heel character.
Yeah, and it's just I feel like me and Rossi went back to babyfacing, which he didn't really benefit anything from. He had a random U.S. title. Do you remember him holding the U.S. title?
No.
Exactly. He won and lost on TV, so we probably didn't see it. And then he also flopped like a fish that one time.
Yep.
And then Judgment Day, he's doing solid now, but it's just not the same.
No.
But anyways, revisiting some Pete Dunne, it's nice. Get that mojo back, and hopefully he's on PLE soon.
Hopefully.
Because otherwise I'm not going to see much of him. But I'm just happy to have him back.
British strong style. Let them cook for a while.
Yes, let them cook.
All right, so we'll talk about some NXT next. You were in the room for a good chunk of it this week. I don't
remember what I saw, so remind me.
So the opener we get is Idris Anafe and Malik Blade taking on Trick and Mello.
I saw Anafe had like the nice Dusty gear.
It's going. Dusty Cup round 1. Yes, he did.
He had the polka
dots going. And commentary talk about Trick outshining Mello kind of near the end of this a little bit, which I thought. So remember I sent you a video of Blade hitting whatever that flipping thing was, and it looked like he almost killed Mello. I don't know what it was, or if it was on purpose, or if he's going to redo it, but it looked cool.
It was something.
I don't know how to describe it even. Looked kind of like he ended up dropping Mello on his head a little bit.
Yeah, almost.
And Anafe's elbow drop does look crazy. It's kind of similar to like Montez Ford's height on his, like just crazy high. So
I
really,
think like kind of like Lucian Price, Anafe's got an interesting look to him.
He does
a little bit. It's just like you kind of got to figure something out.
He's got some charisma too.
Yeah, you just got to find something.
Really good action, especially the second half of this. Blade and Anafe got a lot of time on offense, and I thought they looked really good here. And then after a bunch of crazy action near the end, Mello hits a code breaker, tags in Trick, and we get a high knee, and it's over. So I thought the in-ring was really good, but I didn't love the storytelling. There was a couple of things like in the first couple of minutes, it really looked like Trick was going to be the dominant one. Mello tags in, then the other guys sort of take control, but then they feel like they abandon that, and I thought that was kind of interesting. And even at the end, I would have loved it if it was a Trick blind tag, right? To the finishing
nice.
knee,
yeah,
because
then Mello would kind of. I don't like that they finished with that because Mello's finisher is solid. I never loved it. I remember like the diving leg drop, but it's fine. It's better than Trick's knee. Trick's knee is not good. It's okay. It's bad.
It also looked near the beginning like Anafe and Blade were being more aggressive and taking shortcuts. I think they were knocking people off the apron here, and then commentary said nothing about it, and they went back to it not at all. It just kind of like, oops, we kind of forgot for a minute that we're baby faces. Anyways, they have potential as a babyface tag team, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have Fallon Henley talking to Kelly about the Battle Royal. Henley says it'll be tough. She's ready, etc. Yeehaw, bitch. And I actually thought Fallon, this was about the best she sounded, like kind of comfortable and natural. The content was pretty generic, but the delivery was good.
She says yeehaw, bitch.
I think she has potential to be a really solid babyface, and we always say like good babyfaces are hard to find.
Yep.
Heels are pretty easy to find. Elektra Lopez and Lola Vice backstage. They're going to win their tag match tonight and then be in the Battle Royal and be a force.
Yeah, so this confused me because they're in this and then they're later on.
They're workers, brother. You know,
and Tatum Paxley. Really? Yeah.
So Elektra says she'll win. Then she'll have a triple threat at Vengeance, and they will be champion. So sort of teasing some sort of dissension, I guess, which would come into play later.
Randomly.
And then they're sort of talking backstage, walking by one of those doors that has like a window in it. And Paxley just sort of yanks the blinds open suddenly and tells them they won't be winning their tag match and that Paxley will win the Battle Royal and so that nobody goes near the champion. So she's basically going to win the Battle Royal and not challenge.
Her thing's super random.
I'm kind of enjoying it. Lopez sounds really bad, even though I think she has some charisma. Elektra's just okay, and I thought Paxley was kind of good. It's growing on me, not going to lie. Obafemi goes to the ring to speak. They tell us he is the first, what is it, NIL, not name, image, likeness. Next in line.
Yeah.
First next in line person to win gold. So the crowd start doing this ooh thing similar to like what after everything he says.
I noticed. I didn't love it.
And listen, man, he handles it well and powers through it. So for a rookie who is on the mic in a live setting like this, to not have that trip him up, I was like,
because that trips some people up.
I was like, oh no, this guy's in trouble. But he seemed to power through it. And
yeah,
it was
that's
fine.
important for sure.
It is. Basically, he says he rules over everyone. He'll destroy everyone because he's backed by destiny. Dragon Lee comes out and he said he's not mad at Femi for sort of taking his moment. The title represents opportunity, and he hopes that Femi will give those opportunity to others and continue the tradition of open challenges. Lee wants to be the first open challenger tonight. This is where Femi sort of cements himself as a heel, right? He says, no, open challenges are done.
Yeah, which I thought that was kind of random. I feel like he hasn't been a heel thus far.
I think it was sort of like, it looks like it, but I'm not sure. And I think this is like, yeah, he is for sure. So Dragon Lee wants his rematch at Vengeance Day, but Femi tells him he doesn't get to make those decisions anymore.
Yeah, he said he would think about it. Right?
And Femi just walks away. So he's surprisingly good on the mic, I think, and has a unique style. And it's not just that he has an accent. It's the pace and the way he speaks. I think it's kind of interesting. I can see why whoever's important likes him. It looks like he's starting out as a heel, which I think is good too. I'm not sure he should be the North American champion, although I guess
I think it's too soon.
if you're trying to develop him as a heel and you're coming, because my thing was this is the workers title, but if you're using it as a heel thing to be like, we know it's the workers title and he's never like, he's going to avoid defending
Didn't
it.
they just do it with Dom though?
Yeah, kind of, yeah. So I don't know. We'll see. I think it's too soon, but he's not bad. Hank and Tank and some other guys praise Eddie Thorpe for winning the underground match against Dijak last week.
What? That was not last week.
Or whatever it was.
That was like, that
Couple
feels
weeks.
like it was a month ago.
Trey Bearhill comes in
weeks ago.
and he thanks Thorpe for representing their culture. They introduce themselves, like talk about what tribes they belong to. Dijak interrupts. Bearhill kind of steps up to him.
Is Bearhill actually? Because otherwise,
yes. Oh yeah.
He is.
Yeah. They wouldn't be doing that. They wouldn't be giving him that if he wasn't indigenous. I don't think. So we're gonna get Dijak and Bearhill later tonight. I thought Trey Bearhill sounded really, really rough here, but he is brand new and he was probably super nervous. Dijak's Dijak, so that's never good on the mic. And I think just Eddie Thorpe is just really bland to me. Like he's just missing something.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
I don't know what it is. So Mello and Trick celebrate their win, their tag team win backstage. Mello says they're headed to the finals. This is where Ilya Dragunov shows up, and he says he wanted to compete against Trick at New Year's Evil, but he wasn't cleared to fight. But he is medically cleared now, and he says that Trick deserves his title match on a big stage, so their match will be at Vengeance Day. Ilya leaves. Trick is obviously pumped about getting his title shot, but you can see Mello is like, man, we kind of just made plans to be in the Dusty Classic, and the finals for that are on the same day.
If I'm Mello, though, I'm gonna pretend to be excited for Trick's match to avoid any suspicion. And then in the tag match, you work your ass to get to the finals, and then the tag match, you make sure Trick does a lot of the work, so then he doesn't get the title, but you still win the tag match.
I don't know if it's that Mello is a heel and he's hiding it, or if he flops back and forth from supporting Trick and his buddy, and then Trick says something or something happens, and then he starts to feel threatened and insecure, and he sort of like can't. He is honestly trying to support Trick, but then when Trick says something like, I'll be a triple crown, I'll hold two belts at the same time.
So then maybe that's like...
Right? And Mello's like, oh, damn, I can't help but
maybe
not
that'll
want that.
push him to do the angle I'm thinking, because I feel like that would make sense if I'm Mello, but I guess it depends on how he's coming at it, right?
Yeah. So you get Trick committing to Mello first in the Dusty Cup, but now he's double booked, and he's coming across like he cares more about the title match, which makes sense, but it seems to irritate Mello, right?
Which also makes sense.
Right. Then we get the tag match we were promised. It's Lyra and Tatum Paxley versus Lola Vice and Elektra Lopez. Paxley is dressed and her hair.
It is pretty spot on. Like,
and she's doing the mannerisms and stuff. And I thought it was really funny.
She's pretty perfectly matching.
It was good, yeah. And then the finish to that what I thought was a pretty average match comes when Lyra's knocked into the corner. Tatum tags herself in, and I think
it's like an accidental pin or something.
So I think Lopez goes for a kick, and Paxley ends up taking it to save Valkyrie, and I think she shoves Valkyrie out of the way, and Valkyrie lands on Vice, and that's the pinfall.
Yeah, it was something lame like that. I didn't love that.
I think the basic point was Paxley sacrificing herself for that. And the match was nothing really. I thought the finish was kind of creative to continue the Lyra Paxley story, because Lyra's not sure. Like, it seems like she can trust this stalker in a way, really, but again, like the story, don't like it for the champion. I think it's like beneath her.
It could be better than Storm, though.
Yeah, maybe. You did see this. Ariana Grace is condescending and insulting.
I liked it, and people were kind of like trickling out as she was delivering her spiel.
And so she's doing that like I'm the main character sort of thing, and everybody just starts walking out as she's talking about how she beat Roxanne Perez, which is funny because Perez beat her and the referee reversed the decision, right? Because Perez wouldn't stop attacking her. So the fact that she counts that as a win is good. She says she'll win the Battle Royal, and as you said, she finishes her speech and everyone is gone.
Yeah.
So yeah, if
she gets good in the ring, I feel like she'd have a really great champion gimmick.
And if they can keep writing for her, right? Like, she performs it well as long as they keep giving her reasonable stuff to say. She could have a bright future, I think, too. So I was a little surprised Ridge Holland squashed Joe Coffey, right, in under 3 minutes.
Yeah, it was surprisingly straightforward. I mean, I don't think he's the most notable Brawling Brute of the week, but...
It's weird that he went right to Coffey because he's the leader, the more protected.
Just dominate Mark Coffey. I guess it would make a little more sense.
And he hits, what's his driver finisher called?
Northern Grit.
Right, which kind of looks cool.
And like Pete Dunne, he also reverted back to his old theme. But in this case, I don't really like it.
Gallus attack Ridge from behind after, and remember they keep cutting to the ramp and they keep looking up the ramp, and it was awkward, but I guess the whole point is nobody's coming to help Ridge Holland, right? That he has no friends. So they keep looking, nobody comes, and then they hold, two of Gallus hold him, and Joe Coffey hits.
It's weird, they kept cutting the stage or whatever, didn't they? Like,
yeah, but it's like no one's coming to help you. That's all it was.
Yep, Sheamus is injured, Pete Dunne is bruiser waiting.
Anonymous, their latest video is from Chase U and JC Jane's looking at whatever pictures or something on her phone, saying they're fantastic. JC says the work has only begun. She wishes Carmen good luck in the Battle Royal tonight. People leave. JC asked Jasmine, somebody, to hang back, saying she did a great job and asking her out for drinks. Remember that part?
Yeah. The thought of...
Was it almost felt like a date or something?
That's what it felt like to me, like they're doing some training, which is fine. Like,
yeah, whatever.
It's fine in theory, but I don't trust NXT
no,
with that. Because
to do it respectfully and like realistically.
A respectful, yeah, gay, lesbian storyline, whatever. Like...
Love to
also,
see it, but I don't know
if they're doing my calendar thing, which if I called that, that's
still possible.
1,000 IQ play for me.
Yep.
Just the thought of Carmen Petrovich posing for a calendar with her sword makes me chuckle. That makes me laugh. That's funny.
I think Jane is starting to sound pretty good since she's dialed things back, right?
Yeah, because I feel like she's kind of tweaked things.
She's
whereas
mellowed
Gigi
out.
Dolan is still like, just like. I remember seeing the segment between those two when they were feuding. It's just like they try so hard.
And I think Jane, since the Chase U involvement, is a little bit more
Dolan's
subdued.
still like, you know what I'm talking about, right? Like, it's just
yeah.
the way they try to sound whatever. I hate it.
I agree. Kalani Jordan and Brindley Reese, you were like, who? It's the one I didn't know from last week. At a glance, I thought it was Thea Hale.
I thought it was Izzy Dame when she was like standing upside down.
So she's doing gymnastics.
They're gymnastic friends. That's
talking about the Battle Royal. Something like if they can't win, then they hope the other one does or something.
Right back at you.
And Reese is just saying a bunch of motivational cliches, right? And Jordan comments on how much energy Reese has. So it's like a motivational whatever. Yeah. I thought this was amusing but strange. You saw this too. The Baron Corbin is being interviewed by Kelly Kincaid, and Braun Breaker comes up.
It did kind of amuse me, but it was also kind of whatever, and then it was like random too.
But Braun was like, I'll talk about it first, I guess. So Breaker showed up late, sort of, and Corbin saying he told him the interview was later, like almost Corbin set him up to show up late because Corbin wanted all the time, which would make sense. So they kind of argue about who's the leader, and then Braun suggests their team is called the Wolf Dogs, and Corbin's like, kind of like, what did you say? And then it's like that whole comedy shtick where he's like, oh, I said this, nope, go back further, right? And it was just really, really
made
huge
Braun like
character shift for Braun.
Really
out of nowhere.
Dumbed down Braun. Like
he's gone like, from meaner than evil, like bully, just killing everyone.
Now he's like a dumb jock.
Yeah. Almost like comedy.
It was weird, yeah. And not saying it wasn't completely unfunny, but it was just like...
And it was like, oh, I thought of the name in the shower. Oh, you were thinking about me in the shower? Like some minor homophobia
Corbin
too.
sold it.
Yeah.
Sold it well.
Corbin's, he's pretty comfortable.
I don't even know if it's like homophobia. It's like just weird for them. But like, no, Corbin sold it well. And it was like, Wolf Dogs, it's like, it's probably worse than Swerve and Our Glory or whatever.
Kelly tells him they're both a-holes. Braun suggests the name Wild Boars. Corbin doesn't like that either.
I don't understand that. And also, that's gimmick infringement.
Again, the dynamic, we want the hunt back.
The real wild boar.
So entertaining, but again, like a complete shift from Braun out of nowhere, right?
Yeah, it felt like not even canon or something.
Honestly, his tone completely different. Like he's leaning away from the badass thing.
I would like to compare this juxtaposed to the segment where Corbin proposed the team to him. It's not the same.
Not at all. And I don't know what's changed it.
Absolutely.
Then we get another Dusty Cup quarterfinals. It's Chase U, which is Hudson and Riley Osborne. Chase is there taking on LWO, which is Cruz del Toro, Joaquin Wilde, and Zelina Vega's there with them.
Former Legado Fantasma, because now it's Carrillo and Garza.
Right. That's right. Just swap them out.
I mean, they're better.
Duke hit a Bossman slam. Wilde made a blind tag, hit a missile drop kick. Wilde dove on to Riley on the floor. And Wilde hit a suicide dive into a DDT onto Duke on the floor. Back in the ring, Wilde hit the moonsault. Cruz tagged in for a Phoenix Splash off the top onto Duke for the pinfall win after about 10 minutes. Pretty good TV tag match. Cruz and Wilde are really talented, right? But they never get much attention because they're sort of generic, I guess. I don't know. Good in the ring, but not super interesting elsewhere. For a rookie, Osborne didn't feel out of place. I don't know how much wrestling experience he has. Like, is he an indie guy or is he?
I think he's NIL. I'm pretty sure most
I think
of
so
them
too.
were.
So he didn't look out of place here. And I guess the point here is that things are still going poorly for Chase U, no matter what they do.
Did he take the pin or was it Duke? Cause,
Duke took the pin.
Right, because I thought it'd be more interesting if Osborne took the pin because it was JC suggesting that he go in here. So I thought it'd be like
true.
It kind of makes sense or like be storyline furthering if he took the pin.
But still, JC's advice clearly didn't work out here because they lost. So.
Yeah.
I know you love this. Talk about your new favorite character, which is Adriana Rizzo, the Riz.
Yeah, no.
So
this was bad. Oh my god! Now I remember what you're talking about. That was bad, man.
So she's nervous for tonight's Battle Royal, and she's doing the most stereotypical Italian.
Oh, she's arguably the worst of the three. Honestly, she was so bad, she made me hate the other two more than I already did.
Stack says the Riz always takes care of biz.
Okay.
And Tony
was bad.
Tony D'Angelo reminds her of the times that like she's knocked out people for the family without getting to specifics, and she says they all deserved it.
I'd like you to explain why these are such great baby faces.
I know. I told you. Like, they're literally mobsters who refer to killing people and stuff.
And, sleep with the fishes and whatnot. Wait, let's not forget those first promos and just keep going. Like, forget about it.
So Tony's trying to say, like, all the women in the match tonight deserve it, so take them out. And Rizzo says the bodies will be flying.
She's so, like, it's
told you.
So,
my notes literally say, let Jack speak here.
It's so fake and tacked on. Like, the lack of authenticity in her voice is insane. And honestly,
if you were to do a parody of what they're doing, it would be exactly the same thing.
Her Italian accent and our attempt at it is so bad that it sheds more light on the other two and how bad theirs
even
is.
More on the nose is Tony was wearing under his jacket, you could see he was wearing a Godfather t-shirt. So like just
the subtlety is not
sledgehammer it in there.
Yeah. Subtlety's dead.
Then we get another little segment I wasn't a fan of, and that's because it's Von Wagner now in play for the NXT Heritage Cup, which
I didn't.
This is now becoming like the big man. It's kind of weird to me because this is supposed to be, anyways.
Or it's like becoming not even that, but it's like this wrestling thing, and so it becomes a thing for other wrestlers to step outside their comfort zone.
Yeah, remember how annoying this was though? Because Dar's trying to explain the rules, and Von Wagner's like an idiot with numbers.
Von Wagner's like a
really
dumbass.
Stupid.
It was like the Braun thing, but better almost because it makes more sense for Vaughn to be stupid, but also worse because Vaughn sucks.
And it's like, I got an A in algebra to stone up. I don't know. I didn't like this.
No,
I don't like this use of the Heritage Cup because Dar is cool and
Dar's
it should be.
He didn't even come in and say hello.
No, he did not. We then get Trey Bearhill versus Dijak.
He's not good.
The highlight of this was Joe Gacy on commentary. Just the
okay,
look.
That was funny. Yeah, he just like appears and he's like all smiling, like ready to call the match. He's got like
and nobody objects to him just joining.
They're just confused. Yeah. And he's got like the retro Vince suit on too, which was a funny callback as well.
So I
think he said what a maneuver too, right?
You did.
You mentioned
the story continues of him showing up in weird places.
I'd like it if it's like
funny.
How Tony Storm's losing her sanity. He's like losing his sanity. He's just like, because maybe that's what they've been doing, but like
I don't know what they're gonna do with
like a more pointed focus on it. But like he's losing his sanity. He's just like randomly showing up on commentary. Maybe he's like next week he should like be randomly reffing a match or like
this one made me laugh.
He does. He should do like ring announcing just randomly, like I don't know, stuff like that. Like you could go somewhere with this, you know.
So we get some back and forth with basic stuff from Bearhill before Dijak wins with his discus boot in about 5 minutes. It's about what I expected. Dijak wins. Bearhill gets exposure. But I didn't think Bearhill looked impressive at all. His look's not great. I didn't
like the entrance and whatever. I thought it was more annoying than Thorpe's, which I also don't like.
After the match, Joe Gacy goes after Dijak. They kind of brawl to the back, and then in the ring, Lexus King shows up, attacks Trey Bearhill from behind, hits the swinging neckbreaker move that I don't think that's great. And he's mad at Trey for costing King the biggest match of his life. And maybe this is a feud where King can get a win because he doesn't seem to win a lot despite being really prominent on this show.
He lost the tournament that he somehow got in for one chair
attacking
shot.
Bearhill.
One chair shot.
Mm-hmm.
They should have a chair on a pole match. Yes.
For sure.
Then he lost to Mello, lost to Dragon Lee.
Right.
That's all in the span of like a couple months.
Yes, he has not looked impressive.
No.
Briggs is backstage.
He won his debut though
with JBL. Briggs says he's watching his match back and asks for advice. JBL says the win was great, but what he's looking for isn't there. He asked if Briggs knows why JBL picked him for the Iron Survivor qualifier.
Spoke with such like a soft
I know.
tone. It was really weird.
And he says that Briggs is incredible, but he needs to find out who he is. He wants Briggs to show NXT and WWE who he is.
What's that name going to be?
And I put that I love how one of the biggest bullies in the history of WWE, who would have just smashed this rookie for coming in real life.
He bullied my favorite commentator off SmackDown.
Is now being portrayed as this kind and caring mentor,
Legend, yeah.
right?
I'll never forget that he bullied Mauro Ranallo.
But however, Briggs is somewhat reminiscent of JBL, so that combination makes sense. He's like a bigger dude who has a finishing clothesline, right? So I get that.
If you're Josh Briggs, I'd like to point out the last person that JBL managed or even really guided was Baron Corbin. A run so bad that they split after a few months, and then Corbin went back to NXT.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd like to point out that, at least in kayfabe, JBL's help is not very good.
Looks like Briggs is getting a bit of a singles push, and that's okay. He's a veteran.
Yeah, he's an indie guy, so I like him more than Brooks. Also, I saw a bit of Lexis King's interview with Van Vliet.
Yeah.
And I forgot that Brooks Jensen is Bull Buchanan Jr.
That's correct.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, he is. B squared. We get a no.
Oh yeah, wasn't he with Cena?
With Cena. Yeah, he's his muscle as a heel.
That's awesome. Didn't he have Rodney Mack for a bit too?
Probably.
I think.
No Quarter Catch Club. Get a vignette here where Drew Gulak says the last few weeks have been an unacceptable. I would agree. So now they go back to basics. It's them training and doing their basic stuff.
Damn.
Gulak says it's no mercy, no quarter given. Again,
what does that mean?
It like when you give someone no quarter, it means I think like you're not holding back at all.
Okay, that makes sense.
Again, I want to like this group, but they have to do something to gain prominence, to not be
Miles
like
Bourne,
the jobber
man.
team.
He's rough.
His speaking is unbelievable, and I don't like to pick on people for things they can't
No,
help.
I
don't think he can help the way he talks.
I struggle
but
not
man,
to be mean with him because
Yes.
like he clearly has
It's
some
rough.
sort of speech impediment
Yes.
or speaking issue or whatever. But like for someone who has to speak on TV, it's bad,
It's not
man.
good.
And I mean that in like the least hurtful way possible because I don't want to be mean to the guy. But like I heard him on Level Up once, like, and he's bad.
and they're
man.
only giving him like half a line at a time, and it's still like
It's still
shocking.
bad. Yeah. So I feel bad, obviously.
Yes,
But like it's
not good.
just really not good.
No.
I'm sorry.
Trick walks up to Mello and apologizes to him. He says he was excited, but stepped on what they have going. Mello says he understands.
I feel like this is what you were saying earlier, where this will kind of rein Mello back in to be like,
Right.
now they're fine, but then something's gonna happen, and he'll like, so
That's right.
which will maybe push him to do then what I'm saying.
And it happens at the end of this, right? So Trick says he's got a solution. They finish what they started at Vengeance Day, win the Dusty Classic. Then he goes on to win the title in the main event. Mello asks if he's sure. Trick says he is. Mello says to not get ahead of themselves. They have to get through the LWO first.
That'll be a cool match.
Trick says Mello has his word, eye on the prize. Trick says he could be the first to hold the NXT Championship and NXT Tag Team Championship at the same time.
And then he would also get the Triple Crown.
And you can see this sort of tweaks Mello, right? Because they'd both be Triple Crown, but Trick would be holding two at the same time,
So
which Mello hasn't done.
Mello would like, because the original proposition was Trick would get that and be two-tailed Trick, and then he would have the Triple Crown, but now it's Trick gets both.
Right.
Mello would be the first. No, because sorry, I was thinking of it like they'd win the titles in the opener, but then no, because if you think about it, the Dusty Cup's not for the title, so they'd win the cup and they have the title shot, but then Trick wins the title first and then win the titles. Mello wouldn't even be the first Triple Crown champion.
Right.
He would be one of two first, because they
Right.
would be their Triple Crown win would coincide.
And so again,
So,
you can see Mello's happy
the
about
wheels are turning, right?
that they're gonna go through with the tag team thing, but now like, oh damn, now he's gonna have a like a feather in his cap that I don't have, sort of thing.
Right.
So it's this roller coaster with Mello, and it's like he's happy, then he feels threatened, and it's almost excruciatingly slow,
But
it's really good too.
Yeah, it kind of works. I think it started out kind of not good slow, because it was like, remember they kept kind of going back
Yes.
and forth every week, but they kind of found their footing.
And so I said like Jack could check in every 3 weeks and nothing really changes, but somehow the weekly segments are still good.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, it's moving at a snail's pace, but I enjoy the segments, so it's fine.
That's a good slow burn.
Yeah, absolutely. Super slow burn, like really, really slow. Then the main event is the Battle Royal. There's really not a ton.
Which ends in a 4-way.
Right, worthy here. So it's official. Cora Jade's out with an injury, and we get Ren Sinclair, who you said is somebody
That's
from somewhere.
Maddie Renkowski of NWA fame.
There
She
you
had
go.
this really bad ring gear that was like kind of these like cut jeans kind of thing. Like
Yeah.
remember like half her jeans where I'm like, I don't know.
Oh yes, on
It
this,
was
yeah,
really
it was
bad,
weird.
remember? But so yeah, this is the one that ends in a 4-way, and I noticed in this match, and I think you might have noticed, there was a lot of throw someone out, turn your back on the rest of the
Yes.
people, celebrate or like trash
Find
talk
a
the
way to
person
get on the
outside.
apron and then get knocked
Yeah,
off.
it's like there's a lot of distraction eliminations, like because people are stupid.
So you're taking a bunch of inexperienced wrestlers and putting them in a match that's hard to work because you're so limited as to what you can do.
They've done this so many times with the women too.
Yes.
Like in the past year, they've done it a few times for sure.
So-
Remember that set up the toxic attraction split.
So Adriana Rizzo and Miss Parker,
Jada Parker.
they have issues because they're the family
The opposite
and
factions.
out the mud.
Yeah.
So Lash ends up eliminating one of them. Brimley eliminates the other, and then Rizzo and Parker continue to fight on the floor. Kalani Jordan falls onto people and then ends up on the announce table. Remember, this was her whole, you got thrown over the ropes, but you landed on people.
She did the Kofi spot.
She walked the barricade, jumped onto the steps to re-enter the match. Elektra saves Lola Vice from elimination, but then right after that, Vice sort of eliminates Lopez. Lopez is furious. Then Paxley comes along, eliminates Lola Vice, and Vice and Lopez fight on the floor. So it looks like they're done after, they haven't been together for super long, but I guess they're done. I like the spot where Lash Legend is swinging somebody and using them as a weapon.
I think it was Kalani.
The second person she hit looked pretty solid with it. So the final four are Kalani Jordan, Fallon Henley, Kiana James, and Roxanne Perez. And I thought it was actually a pretty fun four-way match. Up to this point, it was really nothing of note, but I kind of liked the four-way between these two. Roxy sends Fallon to the outside. Kalani sends Roxy out, goes up for a moonsault, but Izzy Dame sort of pulls Kiana James to safety. Roxy hits the pop rocks on Kalani.
Roxy, whoa, that's...
I think I called her that a couple times.
That's a while ago.
Yeah, it
I
is.
didn't know. I just noticed.
Hits the pop rocks on Kalani Jordan to win. So again, Battle Royal, okay, really nothing special going on there. Nothing memorable other than a couple feuds furthering and the split of Lopez and Vice. But the four-way at the end was much better. I think clearly they really like Kalani Jordan. This was a way to put her in with three of the more experienced women in NXT. I thought they did a lot in the final few minutes. Perez winning is a bit odd because we're going babyface, unless...
You said babyface, Fury babyface.
And right, like the fiery, she's not taking any crap. Unless they're going to turn that into maybe she loses to Lyra and that's full heel turn, you know?
Maybe Tatum Paxley ends up getting involved and then that'll send Roxanne over the edge.
Could be.
I would love it.
And Paxley's the gatekeeper to Lyra then. I don't know.
I mean, that's always a weird thing to do for a babyface. It usually feels like the heel thing, but I mean, it could work.
And I did watch the first episode of TNA
Impact
today. And clearly my first note was I was not the only one that thought Josh Alexander's wife's voice was not ideal for her new ring announcing role, because she definitely was speaking in a lower register from Hard to Kill. And it was helpful, actually. I thought it was better. Clearly, other people, because when she got excited and loud, whatever the pitch, the tone, I don't know what the right word is, of her voice was grating. So she corrected that, I thought, here. Opening match was a crazy sprint. It was Kushida, Miguel, Laredo Kid, Bailey,
X-Division stuff,
Vikingo, Jake something. Really fun, really short. Jake something pinned Laredo Kid with the Void. Fun match, but like super quick. Then we get our first vignette for Ash. What is it? Ash
by Elegance.
Ash by Elegance. And it's basically like she's irresistible. She's undeniable.
I disagree.
So they better lean real heavily into her character because her in-ring work is not good, right? So
yeah.
There's not given us much to latch onto yet. But I will say it doesn't feel like Toni Storm. It feels more like she's, I don't know if you'd be familiar with this, like a cologne or perfume ad.
That
where
makes
it's
sense.
super obscure and you don't even know that it's related.
The name definitely reminds me of something
She
like that.
feels like an embodiment, living, breathing, like cologne commercial.
The only reason that reminds me of cologne commercials is because I remember like the one challenge from Impractical Jokers where they have like the different stupid cologne campaigns. Ash by Elegance, you can picture that on
That's
a
what it feels
bottle,
like.
absolutely. Or it's like, remember the hair place we used to go to with Caitlin? That was like
Touch of Elegance.
It reminds me of that. Yeah. There it is. Yeah.
Zaya Brookside surprisingly pinned Tasha Steelz in a pretty quick match with her Brooksy bomb, which I didn't think looked great.
I don't like that name.
So have you seen it?
No. What?
So you're sitting on the turnbuckle.
Like Muscle Buster style?
No, but I just grab your wrists and flip you into a power bomb. and then directly pin you. So you're behind me sitting on the ropes. I grab your wrist, flip you over, sit out, pin. Didn't look great. The Brooksy Bomb. Clever name, too.
It's not connecting.
So I was surprised by the quick win because Tasha's just a returning former champion, and I thought that
guess
this
she's
didn't
not
do her any favors.
She's not super high level,
No.
I guess, right? And I guess her reign was kind of random, wasn't it?
It was. Quality win for Brookside, I guess, but the crowd was dead for this, although I don't think it was their fault. The crowd, I noticed, was dead for a few things. Grizzled Young Veterans defeated EY and Kazarian in a good TV tag match. I was confused and thought EY and Kazarian were part of the system. And they're not, because they break up here, and I was like, what? Already? But then I was like, oh no, they weren't.
It's still weird.
I didn't know who the babyface was here. It wasn't really clear.
Sorry, who did they face again?
Grizzled Young Veterans, who I hope better be heels.
They're not babyfaces. No way.
Especially Gibson if they let him talk crap, which they need to get back to. He needs a mic on his entrance and just rip people. So far, I don't think I'm going to care about the system very much. Again, this is a note when I thought this was still the system, right? So you could ignore that. So
I love that they didn't.
I still thought I'd mention it. Grizzled Young Veterans won with the Grit Your Teeth. Do you know what that is?
Is that the Ticket to Mayhem?
No, I wish.
It's different?
It's
like not the Tombstone and the Codebreaker?
No, it's the both do half a Codebreaker now.
Oh, the Diet of Done. That's not good.
It's not that good.
Honestly, the Ticket to Mayhem, it's kind of like Dante's Inferno, where it's just like a lift into something, but it still looks cool.
I thought so.
I like it.
So Kaz turns on EY over after the match and beats on him.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Does anyone care about Kaz anymore? Like, what? I don't.
I think they're trying because he's an original or blah blah blah. So, and he's still good, but like I want fresh faces.
AEW fumbled the Elite Hunter thing he had. I mean, obviously Kaz is just Kaz, but the Elite Hunter thing could have been something.
It could have. We get a lame kind of system segment in a restaurant. They're eating and celebrating. I thought it was really generic. Just still feels like a random group of people. Where is D'Angelo Williams? He was nowhere to be seen.
Sorry, let me recap.
He's the one I'm most interested in.
It's right. Okay, sorry. I was thinking the woman. It's Alicia, right?
It's Alicia, yeah,
that's
of course.
Great.
Nick Nemeth gets a chance to speak, and I thought he sounded really good. He does a lot of pandering to the crowd here, though.
I saw the one line that I saw on post on Instagram was from Macklin, was like, no one's going to remember Nick Nemeth. They're going to just ask what the hell happened to Dolph Ziggler.
Correct.
I really like that line.
I thought Macklin was good
I love that line.
So yeah, Ziggler's about, I'm going to the top for the first time as Nick Nemeth. Macklin interrupts, and I like this because he's like, or maybe I was confusing this promo with what they were saying to Cody, now that I think about it. I don't know. But anyways, he thinks Ziggler is a phony who is here to take...
It's possible they did the same.
It is. He's here to take and not give like he says he will. And he won't let Ziggler speak. He keeps like knocking the mic away from him. And he accuses Ziggler of using TNA as a stepping stone basically to go somewhere else after. Refers to him as Dolph Ziggler, like you said, and then knocks the mic away, and Ziggler sort of knocks it. I didn't like this because... I forget what he hit him with, but Macklin had to sell for quite a while, which I didn't enjoy, and Ziggler just kind of walks away. I really liked Macklin in this part, right? And he's a good first opponent for Ziggler. Too bad Ziggler has to win, obviously, but it made sense to me.
It's weird that it's been so long that like I almost definitely prefer the name Dolph Ziggler, which is a stupid name, but it's terrible. Like it's been here so long that it's like I can't even consider it terrible. It's just like it is his name.
You just get used to it.
Well, yeah, it's like I guess that's what that is. Yeah.
So Trinity's still in TNA for now, at least. She shows up to interrupt a Jordan Grace interview. She wants her rematch next week. Grace agrees to it. Jay Vidal comes out to the ring, insults the crowd. PCO comes out and squashes him basically, and it feels like maybe they're moving away from the Shaw entourage because. Jay was not with Shaw in the interview earlier. Shaw was not with Vidal here.
I like to say that's kind of a funny name.
And when Shaw she was talking to Gail Kim, and Gail Kim's like, "See, you won the X Division thing without your people." So
they should get her a couple of like female lackeys, so that you can have it kind of like Jade Cargill and the Baddies. You could do something like that
with Dana Brooke. No, thank you.
What? No.
Okada is here with Motor City Machine Guns, and they'll take on the System next week.
I did see that promo on Instagram. I thought Shelly was good, Sabin was solid, and Okada
didn't say
fine.
much. Like, she said like one thing.
It was limited English, so I won't fault him for anything.
The main event was good, but I thought people were going crazy over it. It felt short to me.
It didn't feel as good as not only the first match, but also Bailey Alexander.
Agreed.
Sorry, not Bailey Alexander. Well, Bailey Alexander,
but Bailey
Ospreay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Josh Alexander got his win back against Will Ospreay. Strong main
Which is
event.
fair.
Again, not amazing.
Yeah.
There was an early Tiger Driver through a table by Alexander that
That
looked
was
good.
really good, actually.
There was
it was by Ospreay.
Sorry, there was an Avalanche Poison Rana and
That
a
was
Hidden
really
Blade
nice.
for a near fall that was cool.
No Stormbreaker here, right?
Then we got a Hidden Blade and a Storm Driver for a near fall. But yeah, kind of a sudden C4. Like I actually thought,
looked
he's
really
going to
good,
kick
though.
out
Yeah.
and we're going to keep going. And then it was over because we had to make room for Scott D'Amore to come out and scream at us for 5 minutes, right? Really good.
I respect the passion of the dude,
Yes.
but it's not necessary.
I was like, dude, we better have a defibrillator like warmed up because this guy is going to have a gripper on TV.
He's a little too passionate about 3 letters, man.
Yeah, he cursed, and one of them was an F-bomb, and it was
They
not
bleeped
censored.
it,
Where
but
we,
one of
no, it
them
wasn't.
I thought it was.
No.
I swear I heard a beep.
Neither of them were beeped. I was surprised.
I swear it was.
Although we weren't watching it on regular TV.
He's way too amped about TNA. Like I don't think
Well,
it's
and
as big of a deal as he makes it. out
And
to
what
be.
did he say? It was the greatest match he's ever seen in his life, or something. Which I was like, now I like struggle to believe anything you're saying because that is so clearly hyperbole.
He just
That
watched
what else are you
them,
saying
He
is
watched them have a
hyperbole?
better match already, no
Right.
doubt. Like, and anyways.
So yeah, that was again doesn't feel like a wildly new product, right? Like sure you've thrown together the system out of nowhere and not explained at all why they're together. So I guess that's new, and you've got Ziggler and you've got Dana Brooke, and that's your like big new stuff. So I don't know. It's the loss of Toulouse. Is not made up by adding Dana Brooke to me. Or even Ziggler. I mean, Ziggler might end up being a really good fit for them, but he's not
I think he is
a huge free agent signing in my opinion. But anyways, not
No.
bad. Anything else? I guess we don't have any SmackDown.
slight figuring, but that's really it.
All right, so let's move into that really quickly to be the final segment this week. Jack will give us a quick update. It's what we call Figuring It Out with Jack. All right, what do you got for us this week?
Just slight AEW stuff. They finally got like real images for like the Swerve fig and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the package images, but it's this orange and purple gear for Swerve, which is from his early run, but like it looks nice. And
It does.
honestly, I'll just be happy to get a Swerve figure that's not an old basic.
For sure.
If it was a new basic Swerve, like the LA Knight I got, which
Yeah, you approve of the
would
new
be nice.
basics.
The new basics is nice. They actually have like outkick their own ball joints.
Because
you
did
can
you
take the head
even
and
talked
hands
about
off.
a package, one of your
No,
Christmas...
my package finally came. I got the new Carmelo Hayes, the purple one at least, not the Chase yet, but we got a Mello figure, which is nice. I got blue Stardust, so I got both the new Stardust, which
Right.
is a goal, and then I got the new basic LA Knight with the new articulation, which is
Which
basic
you're saying
which is nice.
that
It's like
basics are now much better.
they used to only be able to kick forward, and like as long as they up the decals a little, because they usually have really flat paint apps and
Mhm.
whatever. So, but the articulation wise, the basics are actually worth your purchase and not
Good.
hot garbage.
That's good news.
But so we got Swerve Strickland in the orange and purple, which is nice. We got Keith Lee in the black and pink from All Out, which I think was the match with them and the Acclaimed, the first
Mhm.
one where the Acclaimed were really over. It looks nice. The vest looks really weird, kind of in the rubber. The logo, like his silhouette logo, the arms
Yeah.
look kind of weird. It's just the way they did it was weird. The chase is in white and pink, which isn't cool looking, but I have an Elite that looks the exact same, so it's not like you need it. Also, they chose a picture of him on the front with the gray hair, which kind of does
your
him dirty.
favorite.
Yeah, that kind of does him dirty. And then we got the other chase is Billy Gunn, which is whatever. It's just like him in a cloth shirt. It's the same as the ringside exclusive, just with this. It's like with a different shirt. And I think that shirt on the back, it's got some sort of scissor logo, but it says Billy Gunn on the shirt. So I think it's one of those ones where they censor it.
Yep.
Which I know they've done with him before. They used to. I saw in a video his old figures in WWF. They would have to write Mr. BA on the back instead of Badass, which I think is funny. And they also didn't put the lips on his crotch, which is interesting.
Yeah. Not a kid's
There's
toy.
the Acclaimed from All Out, the same match with the Keith Lee, which I think was the one where they got over. Caster's got a microphone and headphones, and they both got the tongue out and normal heads.
Mm-hmm.
And then the 3-pack figures that are coming out as well are basically the same. It's just they're more pink. These are like kind of pink and black, and those ones are pink. Then there's Tony Storm, which is thankfully pre-Outcast, pre-Timeless.
Yeah.
So it's like just regular Tony Storm with a new title, which is nice.
Nice.
And then there's Starks in a white and red, which is nice because I really liked his first figure. I thought it looked good, and it feels good because sometimes they just don't pose around, but that one poses nice. And this one's got like a screaming head, which looks fine, and it's got the FTW belt.
Of course.
So now I don't have
Valuable.
now I don't have to get Hook. Which although after this week, maybe I will get Hook someday.
Nice.
Maybe.
He's grown on you.
But the only hook with the FTW belt is the ringside one. So maybe if I find hook in stores, I'll get that and I'll get this Ricky Starks.
Nice.
We'll work it out.
And that's it?
It is.
All right, folks.
I
Well,
want a new Pete Dunne.
we approaching 2 hours, 20 minutes, as we tend to do. But 183 is coming to an end.
In the books.
We will be back for 184 next week. We've still got to get at our worst of at some point, maybe in the next week or two when we have some downtime.
Yeah, I'll have some downtime for sure.
We'll do that. I got to get started on. I know you're almost done, so we're waiting on me mostly.
We got Rumble next weekend, which is good. We love Rumble season.
So is that on Saturday or Sunday?
It's the 27th, so I think
That is Saturday.
So
we'll preview that probably next week, right?
We'll definitely preview it.
And then if it's hopefully good enough or bad enough, we'll want to review it. If
last
not,
two Rumbles has been like one thing we really liked. And
we'll review it at some point, whether it's a separate episode or part of 184. I don't know.
Talked about.
But we'll definitely be back here for 184 on Saturday. We hope to see you back here. Bring some friends. Thanks for taking some time to listen to us. See you in about a week. And until then, take care.